Hi everyone, welcome back to a live stream on the costumeco channel. Today we're going to be digging in a little bit into the new Amazon show, Lord of the Rings. What's it called, Justin?
Power of the Rings? Rings of Power, yeah.
I've Power of the Ring. Sorry.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. You have to apologize. I have to apologize. I'm actually sick. I've got everyone in my house has COVID, so I'm a little under the weather today. But we decided to go ahead, plow through, and we'll just keep this not too long. It's just going to be sort of an hour and a half to do this, maybe till 6:00 EST, and then you guys can all go off if you want to watch House of the Dragon. So anyway, I just want to introduce my panel. So to start with, actually, Farhan, we haven't had you for a while. I think the last time we did do a little bit of a reaction to the trailers and so on.
Yeah.
Is that the last time you were here?
I believe Farhan, so, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yeah, I'm Farhan, and I run a couple of channels, Middle-earth Lore, which is a channel where I discuss the lore of Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth in general. And that one's kind of the one I'm more known for, though I've kind of stepped a little bit away from that, and I'm starting up a new thing because I want to see where that goes. But I have a new one, if you can see my name there, Extra Life, which is a second channel focusing on gaming, because that's also something that has been near and dear to my heart since I was a kid. So yeah, that's kind of my whole shtick, I guess. Yeah.
And Farhan's sitting in a gaming chair, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That you're into gaming.
Yeah, and I've got like my Zelda stuff over there and a Pokeball
awesome.
right there, and yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy to have you. We're hopefully going to have you also on a House of the Dragon. You're not as much into House of the Dragon, but we've talked to you before about Game of Thrones and all that.
Yeah.
So actually, we did a really fun. I think when I first met you, we did a really fun live stream about comparing House of the Dragon. Sorry, it was actually Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Right. Yeah, and the similarities and differences between that. So, and next we have Justin Thomas from the Justin Thomas Show. No, he's actually from Top Shelf Fandom. Yeah, Justin, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Justin here, and happy to be here with such great minds. Farhan obviously knows a lot about the series. I'm a casual when it comes to this series, so excited to talk about it from a 500 feet above perspective, and happy to be here. So yeah, and I mostly can be found behind the scenes now, editing videos for great content creators such as Heidi.
And you do an awesome job. I want to say hi, Tatiana. She's here. She's going to be here with us on Tuesday. We're going to do a House of the Dragon deep dive into episode 1.3. I don't know what it's called yet. Okay, and Alicia's joining us. I think she's just here now. She is She-Hulk 3 Stallion. She's here only in audio. Alicia, are you there? Can you hear me? We'll let her get sort of
acquainted,
set up and everything.
Oh. Alicia was coming in the middle of setting up. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so she's just getting set up, and then we'll do an introduction of her. So anyway, this is just so we don't usually do an afternoon thing, but for me, it's a long weekend. Tomorrow is a holiday, and I thought because Lord of the Rings came out a day early on Thursday, that we would, just talk about it a little bit and see what everyone sort of thinks. There's been some weirdness online with like a lot of I don't even know hate bombing.
I wouldn't say hate bombing, to be fair. I would say, I mean, there's been all that hate before, but to be clear, like some of those audience scores I do get. I don't think it's a terrible show, but it's also not a home run, just to be clear.
Okay. Well, why don't we just go?
I'm sorry to interrupt my perspective. I'm just saying.
Okay. Why don't we just go around? Yeah. Let's just go around and talk about. I haven't talked to you guys about the show, so let's go around. We'll start with Farhan. Farhan's sort of our Middle Earth lore guy, so he is into the show. I'm not as much. Yeah, I'm more of a show only person. He's the qualified expert here. So
I meant that with respect, to be sure.
No. I mean,
okay. So we'll go to Farhan and tell us what your first thoughts are.
To be fair, I want to address everybody that, like, even though people would consider me an expert, I don't consider myself to be one, because there are far more even other creators out there that are far more intelligible about this whole stuff than I am. I'm a little bit more casual than I guess even they are, but a little bit more than some others. However, anyway, I guess we're just talking about our general thoughts on the show, or like what?
Yeah, just give me your first impressions.
Okay, well, so my first impressions were that, like, I mean, leading up to it, I was kind of like, for months, I know that there was like lots of hype surrounding it, but because I had been waiting and I heard about the show like 5 years ago, back in like 2017, I think I was like still finishing up high school at the time, I was like super excited. And then as time went forward, I was like, yeah, I don't know. It became a slow burn and I stopped. Like the hype just sort of died for me. But anyway, once it got here, I watched it. I thought it was pretty good, especially from like a casual standpoint. Like if you're someone who's more of a casual viewer, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more. But if you're someone who's like a hardcore Tolkien fan, that may not be the case unless you know that you can separate the two. But yeah, otherwise, I think to me, it's a bit more of like sort of a generic fantasy show, more so than Lord of the Rings. It doesn't feel exactly like Lord of the Rings to me, and I'm not just comparing it to Peter Jackson. It's just how I feel about it, I guess. And yeah, I think it's okay. I'm kind of interested, intrigued to see where it goes next. But yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on it. I don't think in terms of how I like it, whether or not I like it. It's okay.
Yeah, so you didn't have a visceral reaction to it. You didn't have a like, I'm so angry. I gotta go and okay. So you have a more measured response to it seems to me. Okay. What about you, Justin?
I want to start by apologizing about interrupting you, Heidi. I you know me, I'm an idiot. I just wanted to, really get out there that like, I didn't want people to watch the first few minutes of the stream because people, like you're talking about, what you're touching on, there is such this visceral reaction. And I am with Farhan. I have a medium response to it as well. So I didn't want them to click off and think that we're just going to like be like, oh, everybody's just haters. And I know that's not what you were saying either. But, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. So for interrupting you there. But
no, you weren't at all. No, not at all.
I just, I didn't want, because some of those, I would say it should be a little bit higher than those audience scores that were shared. I got to recheck. I don't know what it's at now. But not much higher. And I'm a casual. So my perspective really quick is I think that what Farhan said speaks a lot of truth. I think that they're struggling, as I predicted in the 10-hour stream that we did the other night. Thank you for editing that down, Heidi. That I felt like this series was kind of doomed because there is so much like blind hate and this like, whole approach to it of like, people that are never going to be satisfied. And then people that are going to shill it so much no matter what, because they just don't like those other people, which I don't really care for that other people either, get to be true. But, I feel there's like a false sense of what is good or bad. It's either you hate it or love it. Like you said, like this absolutist approach to it. And I don't hate nor love it. I would say it's not the worst show. That's not the best, like endorsement for it either, but I need to rewatch the second episode to be clear. And I think that they're trying to please the Tolkien like community, like meaning like diehard fans and casuals at the same time, and there's just no way to really do that. And I saw some fundamental things that we'll get into as we go in the first episode of cramming a lot of stuff in that I think was meant to be like for the purists, and I think it probably fell dead on them too. And then it made like me as more of a casual like be like, okay, I see that you're trying to do a movie type of pacing here with like the prologue, right? But like it's a TV show, you can take your time. But that being said, yeah, I think it's fun. It's a good series. What Farhan said about it doesn't look like Lord of the Rings. I do feel like they went a little heavy with the VFX. That's what I'll say. I feel I'm a little bit out of it with that, but maybe that's just they're establishing that, and we'll get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like it's not so much like where they spent their money, like with them advertising this is the most expensive show. It definitely is, and the VFX are really great. All the sort of visuals, everything's stunning. So on that front, like I have no complaints, especially like even like their costumes and their makeup, especially the orc, that was really cool. But like, yeah, like what I mean is the overall vibe of like Lord of the Rings, it doesn't really seem, at least from that's kind of what I felt. It seems like there's a bit of a disconnect from what Tolkien actually is. It doesn't really feel like true Tolkien. But again, that's kind of a thing where it's kind of hard to parse. And like you were saying with casuals versus purists, it's like you got to really choose one or the other. You can't really, like, you can try to take a middle approach, but then it ends up falling apart because like you're trying to do too many things at once.
Serve too many masters.
Yeah.
So Alicia, she just popped out and she's going to come back in. So hopefully we'll have her. Well, you both made really great points. I'm probably liked it better than both of you, but I'm a really casual viewer. I would never know what is like feels Tolkien versus doesn't. Like I just have no concept of the difference. So for me, as a very casual viewer, I really liked it and I thought it was beautiful. and there were some weird criticisms of the acting. I thought the acting was really good. A lot of criticisms about the accents, the acting, of course, the casting.
Sure.
The costumes, which someone said they looked cheap. I was like, I'm sorry, are you watching the same show as me? They looked amazing. Nope. So anyway, that's where I am coming from on it.
That's it. That's interesting because acting, I thought too, great, right, Heidi? Like I thought the costumes will wait for you, but like it was a pacing for me that threw me off. That's it. The acting's great.
Yeah, you thought like there was too much being crammed into the story at the very beginning, like
I get what they're doing with the prologue, like with the Fellowship, right? Like they do that, like the show, like what's happening, and but that's also hard because like again, like you're dealing with a situation with God. I don't know, mispronounced because I ran it. God, can somebody say her name one time?
Galadriel.
Yeah.
Galadriel. Okay, sorry. Galadriel. Yeah, I just wanted because I'm known for mispronouncing names, and I'm known for just being ridiculed.
Put down your sword.
Yeah, no, I have no problem. But like her story, like I get like what they were doing with it, but I think that could have been like parsed out. But again, like what do you want? Then mini flashbacks here and there. So like it's a death by a million cuts per se. So it's just I felt like they were mirroring the movies, which makes sense to me. But also as a casual fan myself, I'm very invested in Tolkien as a person and his creative like what he did for fantasy and as what he did for like his stories about the fairy tale and stuff are very interesting. But I have never read the books. I started to try to read the books, not that they're bad, but I just stopped. I'm not like some diehard like Lord of the Rings fan. I'm just more fascinated with Tolkien. So I don't know what's right or wrong, but I know that they are trying to serve a few too many masters here. But yeah, acting, casting, I don't see anything. Now, you always like what you like. That's fine. But saying that it's fundamentally flawed, that is actually not objective. Like, I think the acting was pretty spot on. Like, you have to then get in. If you want to tell me it was bad, tell me what was bad about the acting. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on that, because I didn't see anything wrong with the acting.
Oh, I just want to say hi to everyone. So I said hello to Tatiana. she said, let me just put this on here. She said, overall, I enjoyed the series so far. Do really like Elrond. Of course, I'm more of a casual viewer, though I do love Tolkien. I get why the diehards are furious. And then Peter's here. He said, one thing I love about our viewers, by the way, is they're like really nuanced viewers. We don't get like, fuck this show.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if I get one of those, I might have to mute you. But anyway, like I'm just saying, we don't have the absolutists, as Justin was saying. Yeah. So Peter says, I came in with low expectations because of all the online hate, and with it so low, I would like to thank them because it blew my expectations out of the water in just 2 episodes. I mean, that is one thing, right? So I think a lot of people were expecting it to be an absolute bomb. And from some people I've heard, they said, oh, actually, this is, better than I thought it was going to be. This actually looks really nice, especially if you got to see it on the big screen. Now, Siba, sorry, I hope I'm saying your name right, was bored by the first episode. I don't think I'll watch it. Okay.
I've heard the second is much better, and I'm in the same boat that I had to watch it, and I got interrupted a bunch of times, so, like, that's on me. So, like, go to them for the second. But I've heard that second episode really does pick up a lot more.
Yeah, that one was much more sort of fast-paced. I think the first one is a bit more of a slow burn. But I think, like I said from before, I can kind of forgot to mention this, was the reason why my sort of, I guess, hype for the show sort of started to dwindle over time before it released. And I didn't even watch it like the moment it dropped. Normally, someone who's supposed to be really into Tolkien, you'd think, oh, wow, I got to watch it right when it drops. No, I didn't do that because I was like, yeah, I'll watch it, and then I finally got to it like the next day. But
when did it drop? Exactly, because I was late to the party.
Thursday at 9 p.m.
Oh my god! So yeah, I thought Friday morning it dropped.
Right.
And I thought, Farhan, did you find this? Like, I thought, oh god, they're gonna have the same problem that HBO had because it was just kind of like, oh, you waited though, right? So
I didn't. Yeah.
I watched it right at 9, and it was like doing the whole, and like, oh god, it's gonna be the same thing because I missed the first 20 minutes of House of the Dragon because of the issue with HBO.
Oh, okay.
So I had to wait and rewatch it. I just want to say, so Nestle J, my only criticism is the little elf girl Galadriel being bullied by the other elf kids. It felt really cheesy to me. Oh, okay, that's an interesting point. Other than that, I love what I saw. I kind of got that feeling just because she's sort of like, she doesn't think the way everyone else does. She's sort of an outlier, right? That's what I was getting from that. Siba says, I still recognize that it was much better than expected.
They need to do that, Heidi, to show that she thinks different, right? Exactly what you just said. That's the reason they do that. Like, if you want to show that somebody is different, then you have to show what is like, because even the high elves are flawed, right? So like, like I'm just mimicking what you said, but going into it, when I say a trope, I mean like it kind of has to be done. There has to be this point where she's the outsider within, and she's gonna have to like show how she is because look at her actions throughout, different, right?
Yeah,
had to be.
But
done.
yeah, like you guys were mentioning before, like the sorry.
No, go ahead.
No.
I'm sorry.
So Alicia's here. Farhan, have you met Alicia before?
Yes,
maybe once. Yeah.
Okay. This is Alicia, AK. Everyone calls her AK. She has a beautiful backdrop. Alicia, so we just started, we're just sort of doing a high level, first impressions. Do you want to, maybe what you could do is just do a brief introduction of yourself and then just kind of say what you think about the show as you've seen both episodes. Is that correct?
Yes, except for maybe like the last 10 minutes of the second episode. I had a far busier weekend than I thought I was going to have.
Yeah, you were at a shower this morning, correct?
Yes, I went to a baby shower. Yes,
nice.
For one of my very good friends, and yeah, she's got maybe 3 more weeks to go. So, yeah, we had to go ahead and get it in there.
Well, I took a shower
before the baby girl came up.
Yeah, it's a different kind of shower, Justin.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, Alicia, just tell everyone about yourself, and then tell us your first impression of the show.
Well, my name is AK. Hello to. I'm pretty sure I know most folks in the chat at the moment. Hello to anyone that I have not met yet. I do random nerd streams sometimes on my channel. Currently, I am covering what is the name of that show? House of the Dragon on my channel, and a couple of other shows on my friend DJ One channel. So if you like random nerd stuff, check us out. For my first impressions of this show, The Rings of Power here, the first episode was okay. I mean, you have to use it to set some groundwork up, so I get that. It moved a little slow in some parts, but it didn't bother me too much. I'm not sure I like all of these characters. I have issues, I think, with the way some of them are choosing to go about their misadventures, but that's neither here nor there. Some characters you're going to like, some characters you're not going to. As you can see, obviously, love these two, especially her. Episode 2, I heard a little bit of what you guys were saying. I do agree. It was a lot more, I wouldn't say fast-paced, but I think they told a better pace of story in that episode. And I enjoyed meeting Durin and the Queen, well, future Queen, I guess, because his dad's still alive, and seeing Khazad-dûm like before all of the destruction that we know from Lord of the Rings. It's absolutely beautiful, and the whole sequence with the dwarves is probably my favorite thus far. But I am enjoying it. Hopefully we get more into the story and it doesn't drag out, but we'll see how it goes.
Now, sorry, Alicia, just to confirm, are you a book reader or are you a casual fan like me and Justin?
I think somewhere in between. I've read the original series, well, the original trilogy, I guess you would say. I got halfway through the Silmarillion. Honestly, could not get into it. It took like 6 months. I kept trying, but yeah, maybe I'll go back to it eventually. I don't know. The Hobbit I have read. I did enjoy that. It's more of a kid read. I think it's fun. Mm-hmm. But everything else in Tolkien's works, no, I definitely do not have like all of those down in my memory. So I'm watching this more on the casual side, I think. And that may be, from what I've been hearing, probably why I might be enjoying it a little more than some others do. I don't know. I try, even if I do know like a lot of the source material for any one thing, though, I still always try to go in and give it a fair shake. And whether I'm going to dislike it because it doesn't maybe match something that's directly in the story that I know, I don't think that'll happen. I think they're on a decent trajectory right now. Hopefully they continue, though. We'll see.
And they don't own the rights to Silmarillion either. Yeah. Like, it's important to know that they bought the time rights, and I think Farhan could extend on this when we get to the other characters. But hobbits didn't exist during the Second Age, from what I'm getting. That's why we have the, what are they called?
The Harfoots.
Like, the Harfoots, yeah. So like, there's like, there's like schematics too that like get into this. Like, that is kind of weird. of like what they
What-
can kind of use. But you were saying something before, Farhan. Go ahead.
Well, basically, what I was saying was to like extend on one of those points earlier mentioned was that like another thing that kind of like dwindled that was the sort of discourse that was just really exhausting to see on sort of both ends, but like more like the vocal side being like the overly negative stuff that would come. And I'm like, guys, just we haven't even seen it. Let's just see it. And then when it came, like I didn't expect it to be spectacular or anything, but it was like like I don't think it's like the sort of diehard fans that are necessarily the ones that are saying that. Like, because like a lot of my sort of peers within this sort of community will like they're sort of in the same field where I am, but like the ones that really like to like criticize like overly to some other extent are like the ones that will like hate on like any sort of popular franchise, whether it be Lord of the Rings or something in Marvel or what have you. Doesn't matter.
It's part of that culture where people think it's cool to just not like anything, and that's pretty much the whole smear campaign that they go on. I think that's kind of idiotic. I'm sorry. This is a TV show that has to do with magic rings, wizards, and I'm sure there's going to be a Balrog tossed in here or there. Are we really worried about the realism? Is that really what the issue is? Calm down.
Yeah.
There's lots of reasons to make the next Lord of the Rings or the next Game of Thrones rather than another, in my opinion, and be against remakes. And that's just my personal opinion. But bringing race, gender, or any of those are just moot points, and they're just bad takes. Like, it's not woke is the reason. If I had an argument of why the show shouldn't happen, which I really don't, in general I don't care for remakes because I want to see the next.
Well, we know why the show was made.
Money. Gotta get a little bit of that
exactly.
money.
Gotta get that
green.
That's why the show
Pesto,
was made.
baby.
You can't. You could argue it's about art. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's money.
But you get what I mean. Like, if you want to have an argument about why it shouldn't be made, like remakes, we should have the next one. But don't be like, oh, now they're making it woke. And what Farhan was speaking to is this: it's when you start hyping something so far before it even starts, right? Like even Farhan here runs a channel, and I'm seeing his content. It's excellent content. Like you might act. I know that there are people that you think go more in depth and all that, but you do a really good job. You have a lot of good insight. But if you're getting burnt out on it, it's because that hype train started too early, man. You can only watch that train for so long. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm not even gonna do like an actual review for the show, because like I have some points like I mentioned already. But like I don't think I have like one dedicated video where I feel like I can add anything new or interesting. So
Farhan, are you dying inside like I did? Don't let yourself die inside.
I mean, well, it's the whole argument a lot of times with these shows that are time period dated. Well, supposedly time period dated. Right. And everyone wants to say, well, there weren't any black people there, blah, blah, blah. It's like the whole House of the Dragon argument. You got a show with dragons, and you find it weird that black folks are there? That's the argument we're in? Are you sure?
Yeah,
are you sure that's what your argument is?
Where George said, and there was no black people, just so you know, no black people during this time. Just to clarify, remember everybody starting off this age.
Well, and they're also angry that it's not canon. Then
yeah, there's none of that.
Canon.
Just shut up. Yeah, get over it.
If you look, just stop the madness. I'm sorry. I think we could appreciate all of these fantasy shows just to appreciate the fantasy within them, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Exactly, and every white person on Twitter trying to act like they're the best white person on Twitter too. Like it just makes everything messy. I hate it. Like I hate it.
It's so funny.
If you don't like Corliss at this point, he's killing it.
It's so funny. This last year has been so weird.
On there right now. Yeah. Literally the best guy that's on the small council right now. Y'all really on this nonsense?
Yeah. So just shut up.
It's so funny how the fandom has been this year. Like just even like when I did the Northmen, it's just about Vikings, and people were like losing their minds, over that. They're like the comments I was getting, the white supremacist, I don't know what is there's something that's going on right now where people have decided that at one point it used to be you kept your racism, like you kind of kept it private, but now it's almost like people are proud to be racist. Like it's like, like the Proud Boys, I guess you could say. In Canada, we have our own groups of racists here, but it's almost like people are out and proud. And so it's just now it's just become such a bizarre, and unfortunately when you love shows like this, you love fantasy, which is one of my favorite, fantasy and sci-fi are my favorite. it is just, it's heartbreaking. It's crushing. It's soul crushing. In the last few weeks, just in general, I've been feeling, and I told this to Justin last week, is that I've just been feeling like soul crushed. That I'm just like, why am I doing this? What's the point? Because there's such toxicity out there. Not you guys in the chat, by the way.
Right. Unless you're one of those people, then yes.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
you can feel your way, feel free to see your way, out the chat room if you are one of those people. We're not going
because
to.
it becomes frustrating because you can't even because it gets to the point where it's just like, oh my god, like okay, like you on the one side that Heidi's talking about with the terrible side who no longer wear their hoods, awful people, and then you have but they create that it's like being any type of person that's like just like dealing with situations one-on-one. There's shit being thrown from each because then you get that alternative really far side. That's like, sitting there and all I hear is I don't hear about from some of these creators the stuff like that they used to tell me, like insights into the show, everything. They have a cause every day and they're sticking up for righteousness every day. I'm like, I get it. You're a good person. You're with it. Like, so then that makes me like I'm with others. I'm like, no, but just shut up on your end too. Like, just shut up. Like,
can you highlight one thing for me, Heidi? And this is probably the only bit of discourse I'll engage in this episode. What Burst Angel just said there. It's not Tolkien. Amazon is not doing Tolkien. It's doing its own thing and destroying a beautifully crafted world for content. Then don't watch the show. It's really, truly that simple. Don't watch the show. There's literally hundreds of other things you could be watching. If you don't like it, fine. Turn the page, flip the channel, go to another streaming service, and move on. You don't need to be in here telling us how much you dislike it. That's cool. Check your bag, roll out. Obviously, this conversation is not for you. And I'm saying that as respectfully as I will say something like that to a nonsense statement. But, go ahead.
Hi,
I do hope you have a pleasant weekend.
I was just going to say, like, for instance, I have an issue with cannibals. There's this really wonderful costume designer named Christopher Hargan, and he also did the Umbrella Academy. And I told him, I said, I'd love to watch Hannibal. I just can't. I'm so sorry. I have an absolute fear of cannibals, and it's just terrifying to me. And he's like, "Oh, Heidi, it's no problem." Yeah, I heard it's a good show. Whereas zombies, really not a problem. Zombies, I will watch any zombie.
You can watch zombies eat humans all day.
Not a problem. It's totally different to me for some reason. I don't know what it is. Whereas a human, like making the conscious decision to eat another human, to me is absolutely like the road to me. That movie, I actually had to go into the bathroom and bawl my eyes out after I watched that movie. No one told me there was this one scene in it. And I just totally lost my mind after I watched that. So anyway,
I wonder how you'd feel about one of the Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 7, where there's like this cannibal group. Like it's about zombies, but there's a cannibal group that force feeds you some human.
And they did the same thing in. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the conversation.
But what you're talking about does have.
No, this is your stream, man. What are you talking about?
No, I know,
but I did want to mention what AK was saying about like tokens work. Nothing, tokens work will say tokens work. Now, whoever has the rights to tokens work did sell them the rights to be able to explore the second age, but they do not have specific rights, and we were talking about this before you got on, to tell certain parts of Silmarillion or any of that. So there is this weird middle ground that I've always predicted would be I didn't say disaster, but I said they're going to be in a hard situation, and that's it. So again, all respect to them, but like I agree with Alicia. I mean, like if you're just going to come on here to say it's this like I don't know blasphemous thing, like then. But that's how you feel. You have every right to feel that way, and just don't watch it. And don't watch any content that has to do with it. That'd be more healthy for you.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. Millions of other channels on YouTube.
I'm gonna go find YouTubers who cover Hannibal and go in there.
No, and just not only do you not like cannibalism. If anybody
every fandom has a community on here.
Yeah, you need to speak against them. That's the difference. Like you don't like cannibalism in that show. You're not like saying everybody likes that show's a bad person. Like you didn't go that far. You get what I mean? Like because you're reasonable. You're not like you like Hannibal. You're a piece of crap.
Okay, I have second bit of discourse, and that's it because I already blocked them. I don't care, Christian Botello. It's a fantasy show. You talking about hobbits aren't black people? Hobbits don't exist.
They're not hobbits.
What's really your argument there? Anyway, whatever. You can't answer, and I don't want you to.
Good day. Also, none of them are black people. They never say that.
Oh, David's here. Hi, David.
That, then you're done.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, nobody ever wrote that.
David's here. Hi, David.
Hey,
Thank you
David.
so much for coming. David's going to come on our House of the Dragon stream in a couple of weeks. He's seen 6 episodes
Nice.
of the House of the Dragon. We're watching it weekly with everyone. And David, David thinks the costumes are great. I'm gonna strongly
what are
disagree
they,
that
Heidi?
the
Are they
costumes are
good?
terrible. I think they're beautiful. You know what's weird though? I'm getting a bunch of people in here that I don't even know. So
That's
I don't know
good though.
what's happened.
That's
That
good.
is good. Let's stop getting them away. Get away, people we don't know. Like that is how we grow a channel here.
You have
scram.
If you're here to have a good time and enjoy this conversation, by all means, everybody, come in. But don't come in with the nonsense, because I will ban you quickly.
Stacy and
No
Alicia.
no.
Stacy and Alicia are kindred spirits here. Stacy says Duraniges are my favorite. Okay, so let's go through some of the characters. I thought we'd start with the elves. Does that sound fair? If we do Galadriel, Elrond, Gil-galad.
Sure.
And I always thought it was Celebrimbor, but it's Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Yeah,
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Sounds like
Which-
Sullivan.
Yep.
Celebrant, yeah. Hallbrand's a human, so we could maybe put him in there. Okay, so let's go around and talk about the elves. What y'all think?
Okay, no one wants to go first. I'll jump in.
Oh, thanks, David.
I don't know that I know enough about them just yet. I
got
do
some
know
pictures.
that I actually do agree with what looked like maybe like Galadriel's second in command. You could tell that they had gone through a journey when we first saw them. They looked very haggard, and then she wanted them to go and do more. Sometimes you got to step to your leader and be like, "Hey, we need to sit down for a little bit and rethink this situation." So I understand her motivation, but I think she's, as an elf, she's still very young. So I think she's not actually, trying to think forward ahead. She's still trying to get revenge for her brother, which she very clearly loved dearly. And I understand that. But, ma'am, you were given a direct order already. And it's been how long since y'all have been home? Maybe let's not go get killed by an ice troll and go home and actually report in and see what's what.
Yeah.
What do you
I
guys
saw
think?
a direct connection. I felt a connection to World War II with this, with the idea of. I thought there was this really good quote where they said that the same wind that can put out a fire, was that it? Can spread a fire. In about a soldier going and say like you got somebody that like her motivation for wanting to get Sauron is valid, right? But it's not for the bigger group. Like you can't keep going. And also now they're like, imagine if we just saved in Germany post World War II, right? And we policed it. It's called escalation, right? Like you're going to create a conflict by staying there.
Yeah.
Like the German people actually did good. Like, you know what I mean? We saw that. I mean, it doesn't always end up that way. Spoiler alert, humanity's not all that great, but it did work out in that sense, right? Like they did, but there was people that it rightfully so hunted Nazis, and I am for hunting Nazis at all fronts, but to Argentina and all that. But at some point you got to let go of that and let that culture get past it and move on. You can't hold them responsible for the sins of their fathers, grandfathers, generations before, and so forth. But also there's this, you see, especially with immortal to an extent, my idea, okay, so somebody correct me here, elves will live forever as long as they're not, meaning they don't die of old age, right?
No, they can be killed, but
they can be killed, but they don't
old
die
age.
of old age. Okay, so
Correct.
You're dealing with a civilization that's trying to keep the world nice for them. That's why they have their part of the world that they keep nice, as they consider pristine, obviously, like a type of afterlife per se, but it's not technically dying. So you're dealing with these situations where she wants to keep going. It's a personal vengeance. So she's not looking out. It's like if one guy's brother, died in World War II, and he's like, okay, yeah, that Hitler's gone. We've got Berlin. We've already got another government that's not in, never has been in with all this bullshit. Sorry, you know what I mean? We're gonna let them do. Obviously, we still occupied it for a long time, but they can't get over it, right? They got to keep going,
right?
And keep going. That wouldn't be good if you let your whole army do that. But I understand the personal, and that's a good primal. Conflict, man. I get it. You kill my brother, the one I liked, the only one I got, I guess. I might be right?
Also, credit to the writers in thinking about that too, because later on in a scene with Elrond, the king actually says, just that. Like, I feared that she would bring back this enemy that we think is gone. And mind you, she kind of is thinking in the right direction because we know danger's coming again very quickly. But still, baby girl, you gotta calm down a little bit.
Right, Alicia?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
personally, that's not it.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think personally it's to show her flaws as well. Like, I think it's to show that, she's not a good commander. I mean, that's the first thing I turned to my husband and said. She's not a good commander. She's not not yet. So she wasn't listening to them. She wasn't taking any of their advice. It's like my way or the highway, almost like a dictatorship, right? Like, you're going to follow me. I'm the commander. And then they're like, no. And then they mutineer against her. And so she wasn't listening to them.
Say one thing? That was like the most respectful mutiny I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, it's a respectful mutiny.
Screen.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
elves.
no,
They're
it was.
classy.
They weren't they were going to follow her,
respectful.
right? But technically speaking, if it was a British military and she was a British commander and they did that, that would be considered mutiny. So I'm just.
But it Heidi, it actually came from the council. It came from the king.
Yeah.
As we find out, they made it look like it was just a mutiny on the field.
They were supposed to be home already.
That's what I'm talking about with this prologue that I felt was flawed because of that. Exactly what you just said. Because that's the perception we're given, exactly what Heidi said, but that's actually not. The order came from above. So, technically she would have been shot. But we are to believe from the story they gave us what Heidi said right there.
Yeah.
Bam.
I kind of like the actress. Like, some people I know, they didn't like her. I liked her in the sense because she's kind of like otherworldly looking. She's really very unusual looking, and she has a very unusual voice as well. So she may not be like Kate Blanchett, but there's something very like unusual about her.
By the time we see Kate Blanchett as Galadriel in World, she's a few centuries older. So I could believe that this is a younger Galadriel. Yeah, thousands.
Yeah.
I can believe that this is a younger Galadriel. I don't really dislike any of the acting that she's done. I think she's actually playing the part that they gave her to play. So I'm here for this. Is a different era, a completely different era of Galadriel. I mean, we know that she's going to become a great leader of people, and she is going to put up her sword eventually. But right now, she's still that fiery elf that has war in her heart, and I get it. The loss of a sibling, especially, it seems like that's her only one as far as we've been shown.
In the books,
that can get you.
Burn, doesn't she lose all of her siblings in the books?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, South London reseller. Some people have said that there's thought that character Hallbrand is actually, and
interesting.
Yeah, some people think that.
Yeah,
I think
although it would be a bit of a coincidence.
Being
I don't think I've seen any clues to that.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, let me ask you guys this: what did you think? A lot of people complaining about the fact that she jumped ship, just before they went through the curtain, and she has to swim back to Middle Earth, and it's kind of ridiculous. I kind of took it as I don't think she was thinking. I don't think
she wasn't thinking about that at all.
She wasn't thinking about it. Like she just
her
made a
only
last
thought
minute
was,
decision.
I can't go into the light, Caroline. I'm off the ship. That was pretty much it.
Can I bring up the symbolism there? If you notice when they're holding their swords, have you ever seen a tomb of a knight, even a person that wasn't, well, I guess he got knighted, Oliver Cromwell, is only one of the, since they dug him up so many times and they were not all that respectful to him. But like on the top of the tomb, they hold the sword like this, right? Like, so like they were all holding their swords. And now I get that that's not the afterlife, but that is like them passing forward to a new life.
Into another world, yeah.
And now they say that's where she can be healed as well. She doesn't need any physical healing, but she does need that. I mean, I know that comes up in Lord of the Rings. So Farhand, is that
the
like
emotional healing?
So that helps with emotional as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Honestly, I don't know enough about the deep lore.
I do want to mention like something that we kind of lost. I know we showed it, but yeah, it's interesting. Like what Boss mentioned with Elrond being basically Galadriel's son-in-law. It's just he marries her daughter in the books. Yep. And they're like, I believe like second cousins, like once removed or something. If I remember.
Yeah, they are related in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Anyway, that was interesting to bring up.
Someone was saying, sorry, I've been reading a lot of comments. Someone said also that they thought that Gil-galad, and I did kind of think this. It seemed like he was trying to get rid of her. Did you guys get that impression?
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
because they give her a reward because for her service, but they get her out of there because she's a problem.
Mhm.
So they do it in a way.
Absolutely.
It's like, what they call like an honorary discharge or whatever. But like this is
Honorable discharge.
yeah. This is a like medieval type one. Like hey, you
Yeah.
get a reward too, and evidently so do all the servants on the boat. But you get to get out of here, and it saves face for the organization. I mean, the elves and everybody else. That's what I took from it.
It's a problem that the king can scratch off his list.
Yeah,
Pretty
he
much.
can make it look like it didn't get out of control. Yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat was saying that I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. That they found the relationship between Elrond and Galadriel strange. What did you guys think of that? I thought it was on par for seeing the beginning of their friendship because they seemed very close once we get to the Lord of the Rings. So this fit to me.
It's established right away that they're old friends, right? And he likes her. So if you're just a casual watching, that's what you're given, and I guess that's true, right? So like that's the best you could do. That prologue was full of a lot of
they don't
exposition.
need to delve into like the actual accuracy of the lore, where he's actually some thousand years younger than her.
Right?
Like because they're all trying to consolidate all these points throughout the Silmarillion into one central point, and like you could do like a Black Mirror style, I guess, for the show if you wanted to, where you focus on like one episode or one season of the show, a different story,
like an anthology.
But like I don't think like you wouldn't feel the same attachment to the characters if they did that. So I think with them, what they're doing, I think this is the only way it can work for a show.
Yeah, an anthology is all about this theme, not the characters.
Yeah.
Like the characters are essentially
that's
right at the end.
That's kind of status quo for shows like these that are taken from these books that have great histories and lores in them. You have to combine some things because sometimes I don't know if people know, you can't put everything in order and go linearly A, B, C, D. You have to consolidate some things. Not everything transfers from book to screen like that.
No. Yeah. So what do we get right away? She was bullied. Her brother was wise. Her brother gave her some insight. It comes up at the end of the episode, right? Her brother gets killed. She goes on a vengeance, fueled journey
with his dagger
to try to avenge him. She keeps going. They established that it's for a long time. She keeps going until nobody else will put up with it, and they feel like it's no longer of use. And now she is there, and now she's rewarded with retirement, which separates her from her old friend. Elrond, right?
Yeah.
And from her motivation. So two connections. We have this in multiple story threads here, which I thought they did it. I thought they could have done better, but I get what they're doing there because this happens in multiple cases here. Her best friend, supposedly Elrond, right? I don't know anything about the lore. I guess they're best friends. That's good. And also her mission. And you also see this when we get to the other elf, so why he
I just want to say, by the way, I put David Lightbringer's YouTube channel. He is covering House of the Dragon. And he also, David, I just saw you had a new video out today. I believe it was today, just a few hours ago, about your reactions. So if everyone, please check out David's channel. And he's going to be a guest on here in a few weeks for the first time. I'm so excited. Okay, so you guys are having an awesome conversation. For anyone's just joining us, I'm sick. I have COVID. So I'm just I don't even know if I told you, Alicia.
Oh, they got you.
Yeah, my kids have it. Jack has it, so I got it. But you know what? My husband just brought me a Tim Hortons coffee. And if any of you live in Canada, Farhan does. See, it's sort of like our big chain. So my sweet husband brought that for me.
I was late. I said my dad just got it, and she's like, "Oh, that's fine." And then I get on. She's like, "I have COVID." I'm like, "Oh, not longer a valid reason for me to be late since you have COVID."
David says, "Yes, I just did a 1-hour reaction stream." So, anyway, okay. So, do we want to move on to? We sort of talked a bit about Hallbrand. That he just sort of. I think some people were saying there might be some kind of romantic interest there. Like he's handsome.
I hope not.
Yeah.
It does. I don't think it needs to go there. And he seems to have some type of, roguish background himself. Like he was complaining about her not telling him about why she was actually there. Well, bro, you weren't saying a whole lot either. So, I don't think she wants to give you her history, and I don't think you absolutely need to hear that history.
Yeah, and she actually tried to hide her ears because of Elf.
Which honestly is very smart because,
Okay, so do we want to talk about Celebrimbor?
Yeah.
Celebrimbor, who, by the way, I love that actor. He's in Downton Abbey. He's a great actor. I just saw him in another movie recently too. Great. Oh, you know what he was in? He was in The Witches, the new one, The Witches. He plays the dad of the kid gets turned into a mouse. The chubby one.
Oh, I didn't recognize that.
Yeah,
I knew he. I
the
knew
one with
I
Anne Hathaway.
saw his face from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So
which actually was kind of funny.
He's actually. It's funny. I think a lot of people were kind of unsure about it because of his age, but I think the reviews were pretty favorable. So let's talk a bit about him. What do you guys think about him?
I mean, there's
like a whole lot of him.
Yeah, from the show, like they just kind of show him very like for few but brief moments, and there's that one scene where he's talking to Elrond. But aside from that, like from the show's perspective, you don't really know much else about him. Though I did have this somewhat of an interesting theory, and I don't know if there's any real basis off of it, but like maybe at this point, like it could actually just be him, but maybe at another point, because you know how they're going to be hiding Sauron, because everyone from the books knows that Sauron deceives them and plays, Anatar. They're not going to do it the same way. Maybe at some point they'll like do it so he's like a fake Celebrimbor or something, and like the real one somewhere else. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Interesting.
Like hide him somewhere in plain sight. I feel like
that's really good.
Isn't that what they say Sauron does too? Once he reveals himself.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's like. Except
I don't think he would do it that way. I mean, I guess the show could change it, but Celebrimbor is such a heavy character that I feel like if they changed too much with his lore, that would be very bad overall. I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, well, no, like they might have like an actual one, but like at the point he might like do like a sort of switcheroo or something. I don't know. It's just a random thought I had, just so that they could hide him, because like we're all like speculating, oh, it's this character, but I don't know.
Is he supposed to show up around now though?
Okay, technically none of this is supposed to happen at the point it is, but like because they're like putting it in, and they're gonna do a sort of thing where they're hiding him. It will be in this show. Like they're changing it so it does that, I think. Yeah.
I mean, it could work out. The only other thing that I've heard is that a lot of people think maybe the Stranger is Sauron. I don't think they would introduce him like that at all.
That's too obvious.
He seems more of a Gandalf character to me.
Yeah. My husband didn't think it would be Gandalf, though. He thought it would be a different wizard.
The wizards come from the sea, though, in Tolkien's world, right?
Yeah, they come. Yeah, they actually come over in a boat, if I remember correctly. They don't like fall from the sky.
Also,
so
doesn't it
this
seem
might be
weird
a new character.
Do you guys think he kind of looked a bit like a Jesus figure? I thought that was. I was like, is that intentional? Like his robe and his hair and his beard.
The beard.
The beard.
Yeah,
his robe as well.
Like with Gandalf, it's like at first, like if you're going by book lore and like and whatever, you'd say it can't be him because he doesn't appear until like the 1,000 years into the Third Age. But obviously they're changing.
He doesn't
things,
appear though.
Yeah,
appear, and they can't use that, right? No, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like he doesn't.
No, yeah, I mean, and
I'm
they're
not saying that's the
meshing
way
timelines already.
Yeah, no,
right.
Like,
well, there's that, but also like, and he could be one of the wizards and even one of the blue ones. But I feel like because Gandalf's the most well known to casuals, that like
that's the one they would use. Yeah. I mean, and
he's
wearing the gray cloak, so they're almost setting it up for that to be.
In the Stranger crashes in the heat he absorbs. She says, "What do they say at the beginning when they're in the cave about the torches?" They say like
they're
in the cave.
They're fireflies.
No, they say that they say that the torches aren't even giving off heat, right?
Oh the heat that was around him in that crater was
because of the evil.
Yeah, so he absorbs heat when he lands. So I think I think what they're giving us in a thematic sense is something evil. I don't know who it is because I don't know the lore, but I see two connections as a simpleton in this first episode that I think this guy's not good, right? Like he's sucking up heat. You know what I mean? like that's not good. I don't know. That's my. And I don't know who it could be. It doesn't need to be somebody that we know from before, but I think he's definitely not.
No, it could be a Ranger character.
Yeah.
This is also why that little girl, what was her name, Nori?
Yes.
Nori, stop touching shit. Okay. That's my biggest issue with that character. Like, I understand we always got to have the one that wants to run off and do nonsense, and that's cool. but you bring other people into your nonsense and you put other lives in danger. I don't like that.
How do we know who is sensible?
I think that's just to show her, her
Eccentric
innocence and
her naivety.
Her naivety. She has no world, view, right? She's just very narrow, and her family have kept her that. They're trying to protect her and protect what they have. That's how I took it. She's got that Anna Green Gables curiosity that curiosity killed the cat kind of thing.
Nah. Yeah, I love Pippin too, but I don't need a Pippin in every Lord of the Rings show. Little girl,
there she is.
Sit down, pick your damn berries, shuck your freaking snails or whatever it is you're supposed to do, and stop touching shit.
Okay, can we hide
more like Bilbo?
She's gonna get somebody killed, or something bad's gonna happen to her, and I'm probably not.
Well, it was really irresponsible to taking the younger children berry picking. Actually,
well, can you highlight Mag, whatever this Maj Kus is? Light without heat is the opposite of Tolkien's portrayal of evil. So, okay, this is where I'm coming from. I've read every single letter between him and C.S. Lewis. Okay, but I know what they showed me in the show as a depiction and a thematic sense of evil. So I get what you're saying. Okay, and that might go against it, but what they've shown us here is that is a representation of evil. That's my point. And also with the berries and all that, I think it's a little bit irresponsible, but I did like how they dealt with the danger. To be fair, they didn't freak the kids out, right? They let the people knew, and they gave them she's like, oh, first person to get back, it's this. I don't know, I'm not saying it was the best decision. Obviously, they made a bad decision, but she made the best decision in the worst situation after. So I found them to be
that is a wolf. That wolf could still be lurking and follow their scent for how many more weeks to come, and still find them and kill everyone in their village.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I'm not saying they made a good decision.
I just want to say thank you to Ryan for the £5.
Hey, look at that. Well
super chat.
deserved.
Thanks so much, Ryan. He says Amazon legally cannot mention Gandalf. By the way, Robert says
interesting.
Yeah. How does Robert say it? He says it like Gandalf.
Maybe
Gandalf.
In that case, do you think it's possible that Amazon is just gonna keep it as the stranger,
keep us in the dark about it?
Yeah, and just never reveal it, and it's just an interpretive thing where it's it's up to you. He could be Gandalf. You never know. I have a feeling
interesting.
They might.
Go ahead.
Sorry, because there are people in the comments saying I'm hoping it's Sauron. It would be kind of cool, but way before the show came out, when the first images and everything with the stranger, that just seems a little too obvious to be that's got to be Sauron. But now it's now that we're seeing it and all these nods, it's that's got to be, and I don't know. I guess it's might be an interpretive thing.
Isn't it more important to wonder what his motivations are, or what their motivations are, rather than who they are? Right? That's the whole.
Why are you there?
Situation. They want to hear that they're Earl Stark from 5 generations ago. That's gonna make the whole thing make more sense for you as a story. I get the dependency on that, but also think about it story wise. Them having a name doesn't mean
it has
anything.
To make sense.
Yeah, it's just the motivation and what the characters are doing. That's what matters.
Nori's a dwarf?
No, they're saying in the chat that Nori in the books is a dwarf.
Oh, yes, Nori there is a dwarf character named Nori.
It's Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot is her name.
I think
all right, well, let's talk about the Harfoots. They're kind of adorable. By the way, before we talk about this, did you guys know that there were real hobbits?
Harfoots?
No, or hobbits. There were real hobbits.
People that were hobbit size.
Hobbit sized. Yeah, they've just discovered this. I watched a documentary thing on it.
Well, we were all short.
Cool. No, they would have been much significantly shorter.
How short?
I think it was 3 something, under 4 feet.
Because the average height was 5'6" at even in 1700s. So,
yeah, so the in Indonesia, says David.
Indonesia.
So anyway, okay, let's talk about the hobbits. So they're sort of they have there's a lot of lightness to them. They're being compared to what do you call them? The Harfoots are being compared to the hobbits.
The Harfoots, to mimic the hobbits, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of their whole little story there? Everyone go around and tell me.
I didn't mind it. It's a representation of nature. The elves are trying to keep land to be what they consider to be, good. They're trying to better the lands because they live forever unless they're killed by, murdered or killed in some action, so they don't die of old age. So they're trying to, maintain the lands, and they're trying to do it in their own way with force. I think the Harfoots are a representation of nature and staying out of things. As I said, like, we stay out of things. And of course, I think, spoiler, I think they're going to be pulled into things. I haven't even seen the whole second episode, but I'm pretty sure they'll be pulled in. But they're not playing politics. They're just trying to live a happy, isolated life without all these issues and stigmas. I think they're good.
Yeah, they're nomadic. They're a nomadic people. They kind of remind me of indigenous people. They use nature and they're peaceful. And although I should say that indigenous people could war a lot. And then Tatiana says she really liked their costumes. Honestly, very homey feeling. I agree. They were beautiful. Their costumes were gorgeous.
Ryan says Warner Brothers owns all the rights, but I'm pretty sure within the last week or two, Embracer Group bought it. Did they not? I think it went on the market and Embracer Group got it.
My understanding is that Amazon bought the appendix.
Yeah,
that's what they have the rights to.
I'm talking about the current thing.
Oh, they just rebought that. They just bought it.
Yeah, Embracer.
And Warner
Group,
Brothers actually owns House of the Dragon or HBO as well.
It gets tricky too with what they're buying. Are you buying story rights? Are you buying the rights to characters? Are you buying age rights?
So you
have to, they bought the right to tell a story within the second age, from what I know. And I'm not casual with this, but I do know about buying. Second age, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So for Embracer, it says the Swedish video game publisher and media holding company Embracer Group announced its acquisition of 8 properties this week, including Middle-earth Enterprises, which controls the intellectual property licensing to the Lord of the Rings franchise. Those rights were previously held by the Soul Sense Company, which licensed out property to New Line Cinema for Peter Jackson's celebrated Lord of the Rings film trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have to be... I don't know what right. I don't know if they have the right to mention another character. They obviously... So, because you can't say they have the rights to know characters because we have Elrond, right? They bought that, so did they buy that individually? Is it because he existed within this age, so they have free range over anything? That it gets into schematics. I don't think this is what that stream's about. Those Harfoots are crazy, or somebody says they're too dirty looking. In my opinion, do they not bathe? I just look at that as they're just more primal, meaning they're just enjoying themselves and they live off the land, and they're not. There's not a hierarchy there that's based off of So, not that they don't care about their aesthetic, but they're just more free people. They're just
I mean, free. Define don't they bathe? Because I'm very sure they clean themselves in different ways. But our cleansing habits would absolutely not be theirs. So I feel like this is normal for them.
Apparently didn't bathe. She only bathed once a year, whether she needed to or not. There was I don't know if that's true, but
they have berries around their feet. And that shows maybe that they are better than people because they had berries, right? Just as people used to wear more cloths, right, Heidi? There's a status symbol there. It's ooh, I'm gonna leave all this berry around my lips because I just
I agree with actually what Todd says. The dirt hides their scent. I agree with that, and also it's actually it's funny because I'm watching Alone, I should say, Alone, which is this series where everyone's in has to survive for months, and they don't bathe. And one of the things it does is actually it works with insects and things like that. They don't get bug bites because they don't. It's sort of natural protection against, and like you say, they want to be sort of hidden in plain sight, sort of thing.
You smell like dead leaves.
And also, their whole camouflage hiding within 5 seconds and playing around and messing with those 2 guys that are walking through the field. Gorgeous. Absolutely love that.
There's a Graydon here. I just want to say that's my son's name. So awesome. Hi, Graydon.
Majkus just said, nomadic tribe, but with a harvest festival and no livestock. I don't know. Do they eat meat like that? Do we know that for sure?
I think they're hunter-gatherer types. They might be vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't think I saw outside of the snails. I didn't notice any meat cuts or anything anywhere. So they may not have livestock because that's just not what they see as food.
What is the saying? The lack of evidence isn't there,
But have we seen their whole little habitat there, and we don't know.
No, they won't tell us anything. Those bastards.
Yeah, like in Canada, we have the Algonquian, and they were nomadic and they traveled around.
Oh
They
my
didn't,
God, you Canadians are
they
crazy.
didn't keep animals. They didn't do animal husbandry. They didn't have crops, like that type of thing. They just traveled about.
Heidi, I just imagine you, Heidi, in Tim Hortons, and I had him in Michigan too, like behind like somebody with huge moose horns on their head, and you just don't even
Yeah.
give them a second look because it's Canada. Like, and I
We have moose. We have a
I'm
moose
ignorant,
and
so,
beaver.
Yeah.
We have the moose and beaver symbols
But it
on
makes
everything.
sense, though, Justin.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere here.
Yeah, like it's
I'm surprised
fine.
it's not on this cup, to be honest with you. But we have the. Actually, it's funny. I was going to do a meme today about how the tree in House of the Dragon is culturally appropriated from Canada. Like it's like got the maple leaf
how
on
dare
it.
you.
I was like, that's cultural appropriation.
You guys, Canada doesn't get to do that.
Oh,
You don't
God.
get to do that. Like, it's not fair, but that's how it is, Heidi. None of that. Sorry. For
Oh
Aaron as
yeah,
well.
okay, Sarah,
ahead.
that's a good
Oh,
point. Okay,
man.
yeah, they don't clean their face. I think also the children hobbits are sort of like they're even though they're probably supposed to be teens, they seem very very naive, like very
Yeah.
childlike.
Extremely so.
Yeah.
Almost annoyingly so. I think that's probably my biggest issue with Nori, because while she does have that curiosity, you can tell she's still old enough to know better. Like she knows she's not supposed to be doing half the things that she's doing. So that I only give her very little leeway there, because again, you're putting other people's lives in danger with this. You went out there running off trying to see who the stranger was with fire around him. You roped your friend into doing it because you guilt tripped her. She was trying to hurry up and make sure you were okay and take y'all asses back home. You don't know what this man is going to get up and do, and you have nerve enough to scream your head off when he grabs you. Maybe go home when your friend says, "Hey, let's go home."
Yeah, Poppy's
There's
the
a
voice
damn
of reason.
giant down there in a ring of fire. We don't need to be here.
I was only working out the first episodes. Now I'm hearing this. I'm severely backtracking what I said. Like I didn't know that it got.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying,
was
man.
fine. No, you're right. Yeah. Like the others, this sounds like it
Here's
gets
Poppy.
progressively worse. Sorry.
Poppy, by the way, is her face not the cutest face? It's just like this super round.
I like Poppy.
face.
Poppy is cautious
Yeah.
in her movements. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, she's it's like she's she's like Sam, like she needs to have that friend who is sort of the
more cautious,
Tries to
the
give her
more
some
cautious,
sense.
exactly.
sensible.
Who
Yeah, they're really
pulls-
trying to recreate that Frodo and Sam.
They
dynamic.
are, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's for sure they're doing that.
Sam's
So I
always
can
trying
see
to
that.
be
Except
people's
Frodo
sense.
didn't do none of this nonsense.
Yeah,
so
yeah, no.
Mr. Frodo, have some food.
Yeah, Pop's ankle. I was wondering about that because there is a mention in episode 2 that with that ankle he won't be able to travel. It's very nomadic. They'll just leave him behind, right? And then how
Nah, I
does he
think
catch
they'll put him on a cart. He seems important to the village.
Yeah, I guess that.
Okay, we'll
depends
see
on if
how
you get on a cart.
hardcore they are.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But also, was that break caused by the slip, or was it caused by
felt like it was
unintentional
magic.
or
It felt like magic.
intentional magic?
Yeah. It seemed to me like the stranger, well, first of all, is amnesia, obviously. He doesn't know who he is.
Or
And then
forgot how to communicate, maybe?
Yeah,
also?
and then also there just seemed to be some magic that he doesn't have control over.
I was surprised
Yeah.
by the lack of magic in the first episode. Like, not disappointed, but I thought they made a point maybe to show a lack of magic to maybe hope that it hit more with like the Game of Thrones fans and so forth. Like, I don't know if that was their intention. And I haven't seen. I watched second episode off and on. I got interrupted, like I said. So I did see like for Lord of the Rings, I saw like I don't know. I didn't see as much magic as you'd expect there. In the first episode, I don't know if that's probably.
I agree with
conscious
I kind of agree with what Stacey said without rewatching it, but that's kind of the feeling I got. Like he snapped the twig and then Pop's ankle snapped at the same time. So that's sort of what I got from it. Not I'm,
Like a voodoo doll.
Again, I'm kind of a casual viewer, but that's
Yeah,
sort of the feel I got.
that's kind of how it seemed to me. Unless he does have bad intent, and this is only an act, and he did mean to do that, but I don't have enough information yet. So
If they have a
I'm
scene where
50-50.
something's being snapped and then an ankle is broke right in the edit, that's intentional. Like because if that's not supposed to be connected, then they're not going to do that, right? They'd be like, "What are you doing, editor? Making things
well,
that aren't happening?"
intentionally filmed in that sequence, but did the character himself actually mean for that break to happen, or was it an accident of him maybe concentrating too hard or not concentrating enough? We don't know. That's what I'm saying. I need more information.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we move on to... We sort of talked about the stranger, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Oh, you know who we didn't mention was... Is it Sadok Burrows? He's one of the Harfoots as well. Yeah, he has
Lenny
the...
Oh, is that their elder?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has the book that has... I love it. He's got all the symbols of every, of all the people who go by, and he looks in the book, and he's like, oh, there's the antlers. I thought that was awesome.
Did you notice that after the antlers was also a wolf?
I don't think I did.
Well, that's how the progression humor is, like antlers, wolf, Canadian,
Yeah.
all that, like right up the line. But I did want to speak about Elrond, even though we have a little bit. Like, I thought that's one of the best casted. I think everybody's actually cast pretty well.
Young Ned Stark is doing the job.
Yeah, he's killing it, and I really like him. I like him. I like the fact that he's, because this all leads up, right, Farron, to the beginning of the First Fellowship, with that battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leading him most powerful guy, right?
Alliance,
and he's discluded from the council here, right? Like, so he's an outlier. Like, so we're seeing we're seeing like the beginning of his journey, and I think I think everything's done really well with him, especially for somebody that even I know is casual, right? Like, I'm able to say that's him, right? Like, I'm able to just believe it, like, right away. Like, same with Galadriel and all that. Like, I had no issue with that either. So I like it. I feel like people do have quite a bit of issues that I don't understand.
Thank you for coming by, Salty. Good day.
That we're seeing right now, like they say they're unnecessary, they didn't exist. I don't understand it. I think that it's part of. I mean, Tolkien had the trees walking around. I don't know. It seems to make sense to me. They're a representation of nature and just innocence.
We were having a pretty good go here with the chat, and unfortunately. Oh, I can't do it here. That's why.
People gonna people.
Geralt, maybe from School of Wolf, but all Canadians are from the School of Antlers. So true, Farhan.
I like it.
Okay,
I like it.
So, do you guys want to talk about? We could talk about the dwarves. Shall we talk about the dwarves? Alicia loves the dwarves.
I'm here for the dwarves, man.
Yeah,
like
dwarves are awesome.
For a second, I was, the way he was greeted, I kind of laughed when, Elrond did his whole presentation. They were like, yeah, nah, shut the door out. It's like, wait, is that on purpose? Are y'all, like, messing with them? Because from what we know, they're supposed to be good friends here at this point. But, then something gets invoked. I don't remember what the rite was, but he gets welcomed in, and, well, wouldn't necessarily say welcomed, but he gets brought in and everything's explained as to what's about to happen. And I was really looking the whole time like, why do you seem so upset though? What is going on? And we find out what's going on. And like, bro, it's been 20 years. And for Elrond, 2 decades, of course, for an elf is nothing. Has it only been 20 years? Well, my goodness. And Durin's looking at him like, bruh, that's literally my whole life right now. I've been married. I have 2 kids. Where the hell were you? Although we don't know whether invitations were sent out, though, so I don't know if I can be mad at Elrond for him. So I need more information there. If you didn't invite your friends to the wedding, then you can't be mad that he didn't just happen to pop up at the right time and be there for it.
Yeah, show up uninvited.
Exactly. Is that how you're supposed to do things? You're like
you didn't send
the
a
prince
message
of the dwarves. I don't think unless you tell this man what's going on. I don't know why
he left
Celebremnor
out there. He didn't get dinner. He's just out hanging out outside.
Well, it doesn't seem like they were that far from home though, because neither one of them had any supplies or anything with them. So and it's Celebremnor. He's no small character. He can get home by himself.
Unless they've unlocked fast travel like they did in Game of Thrones season 7.
Yeah.
I mean, possible. We don't know.
By Skyrim rules, if he hasn't visited that area before,
maybe they have pitched a tent.
Then he's not supposed to be able to. But Elrond has visited there before, so maybe they did fast track there.
Then he could have been in danger, and he
Uh-huh.
couldn't fast travel. So
I just want to say hi to Minty. Hi, Minty.
Hey, Minty.
But dwarves don't like elves, right? I mean, like,
well,
they just don't.
So we know, but this far back, it seems like they're, at least with Elrond and with Durin, it seems they have cultivated a very good friendship. But of course, he ain't seen his bro in 20 years, so he's upset.
The dwarves always
So
remind
he's
me
gotta
of
go
the
through-
steroided out bouncers when I was a club DJ. They're like those types of
Yes.
guys that like were like up in your face all the time. Like, where you go? Like Stewie, and if you've ever seen
Very
Family Guy,
much
Stewie
so.
and Brian, he's like, where you go? Where you going? Where you going? He's like, I'm just messing with you. You know what I mean? Like giving you crap. I'm like, dude, okay, all right, man. You know, like they kind of seem like
Being
a little bit
extra.
of the alphas. Yeah.
All of the extra, but they were the dwarves. You know, we have our
Aw.
game that we have to play, and the drinking and all of that. So
That's not their
it
charm.
happens.
What?
Wait, honestly, it's not even them though. Just seeing Khazad-dûm
Oh, it's
in
beautiful.
just the waterfalls cascading, all just everything was just so carved out. There's no rubble around, you know, no random dead bodies and skeletons anywhere. It really was just lovely, and I thought it was great. And seeing Durin and Elrond actually go through that whole discussion, and Elrond, you know, he took it like a champ. Honestly, I think there was some argument there. Again, bro, I didn't know I needed to stop by. I'm sorry, but there was like a whole ass war and things going on outside. So
I love the two kids playing with those giant helmets on.
the line
That's like
that he
something my
said,
kids would do. That's something
he
my kids
turned
would do.
and
Have
yelled
these
at
giant,
him.
giant mascot helmets on.
He said, "Didn't I tell you two to stay out of my heads?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And then they showed what he was talking about. I laughed so
It's
hard.
so
at that
funny.
part.
Yeah, that was some fun comic relief. I enjoyed that.
But with
And
the,
his wife is just lovely. She got him in place and all the way together very quickly, and I expect nothing less looking at this wonderful woman.
And speaking of like Khazad-dûm, it was also cool to see in like the previews. One of the Balrogs, I assume, is Durin's Bane
Mm.
as well. Yeah,
I like
What's
the
Durin's
juxtaposition
Bane?
between. Oh yeah, go ahead. And
Durin-
Durin's
Farhan,
Bane is the particular Balrog that well,
The one we see in Lord of the
it's in the
Rings.
well, it's the one that you see in Fellowship that
Yeah.
ends Gandalf. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen. Which I'm
But for trademark reasons, it's
but-
not.
Oh no, but yeah, like, but also the one that, like, as the name suggests, Durin's Bane. So you can clearly
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
Is that the one that
he's-
disappears in? Are we talking about
Mhm.
this? I lost it there because I know the one that what's his name finds is the one that it's like that the particle of the sword, and you see like that's the one that dissipates maybe in Lord of the Rings. I think I went to a different.
Oh, are you talking about that sword that the kid found?
Yeah, the Dick. Sorry, I don't remember his name.
Theo?
Dick.
Oh,
Yeah, Theo.
what are we-
Yeah,
Oh, we're talking
Why
about
is he
the
a
sword.
dick?
Oh, right.
he
I
seems like a
actually
dick to
kinda
me.
liked him.
I mean, he kind of is. Really? I don't know.
He's an angry teenager.
I don't care for
think.
kids. So I'm sorry.
And
Yeah,
angry
and
teenagers
yeah.
are dicks.
Sorry, they're
He
really
doesn't
not
have
related.
a
He was
father
just talking about-
figure,
yeah.
you know. Although I suspected his father was actually
for cigarettes?
Arondir. I kind of thought that might be his dad, his real dad.
Is his dad gonna pop up?
I thought that.
See, and that's what I'm wondering. Why? Yeah, they I don't think they would have mentioned that if it wasn't going to be a big deal later. And the fact that this kid actually looked into that thing and he actually saw the flame and the symbol and all that. There's something going on there.
Yeah, like Jon Snow's dad. That never came up again though.
Can we not?
Listen,
can we not stop it right now? Stop it.
Any Game of Thrones theories just were all for naught. Like they didn't amount to anything.
No,
I
they
was
really did. It was a joke because obviously
Yeah.
it was a big thing. It's like if you, like what Lee's just saying, why would they have brought that up? Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to be like, well, my
Well,
dad's not around.
if
he's
they
not gonna
follow a
sometimes.
proper, storytelling arc, then it will.
Oh, they
Right.
did that.
No,
They
that-
got
Can't
it. That
use-
was within the first 5
Which
Can't
is
use,
why
like-
I suggested that thing from earlier where it was like yeah, obviously from a narrative standpoint it would make sense to do something else, but I'm saying I wouldn't put it past these sort of networks to do like things that would purposely subvert your expectations and just kind of leave you in the dark just for the sake of it because they just don't feel like doing it. I don't know, but yeah.
I actually didn't. I don't know. Maybe because I have teenagers, I didn't really mind Theo.
You're just used to it.
He seemed like I'll call up to my son, Leon, dinner. What do you want? Like
Shut
it's
up,
sort of
Mom.
it's just sort of typical teen, anger, angst, teen angst.
Why are you making me food and protecting me?
Single
I'm sure
mom.
annoyed by you. Yeah.
single mom, Theo anger.
But all the other kids weren't dicks.
He held his
So, like,
own when
by-
it came to that orc, which, by the way, I love that orc with the helmet, like with the face mask on, because I was like, okay, we're in a horror movie now. We were in I felt for a moment we were in a horror movie. Did you guys find that one scene where the orc comes out of the floor that he thought were mice.
Yeah, and also, again, I'm sorry, I have to agree with Justin. This kid's a dick. Bro, this is your house. I understand you frustrated a little bit and you got some teenage angst and you mad about these rats crawling through your floors. But your solution to that is to just pick up your pickaxe and start boring holes in your mama's floor.
Yeah, the house isn't good enough. Let me destroy it.
What was the solution there, sir? And then when the freaking an eyeball comes out to look at him, he does nothing but hides in a cupboard. He doesn't try to get out of the house and alert some of the people that could help fight whatever thing is down there. You wait, you hide, and then you wait until your mom gets home. You don't really tell her what's happening.
That's a horror movie trope, though. You go hide in a closet.
Do it better.
Yeah,
do it better.
What king was that? Was that Richard? Was it Henry? Or there's two
Richard
kings.
the Third?
It was Richard, I think, the second. That hides. There's like a Henry Bolingbroke in Richard during the thing. Anyways, but yeah, it's not a great thing. And the optics of storytelling are like Heidi can relate to it because she's got great kids, but she still has kids right now that are teenagers. So I'm assuming at some points they're a little bit testy. I'm just assuming. I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming. I just remembered how I was and how I still am. I'm terrible. Even as a grown adult, I'll be terrible till I die. But we only have the optics of storytelling. So they made a point to show that kid again was misbehaving, right? So kind of a dick.
Yeah, someone was saying that Theo's keeping the sword like in a way that a kid in our time would keep a Playboy magazine. Like
I found my mom's vape in my dad's Playboy.
Like, whose freaking barn did they even break into?
Oh, that's a good point. Trespass.
That wasn't his mom's property. So whose thing did they steal?
Yeah, but
the village pharmacist. Pretty much, yeah. She's the healer, is what I got.
Yeah, and also Theo was grinding up something in the the mortar and pestle, wasn't he? At one point, he was at the beginning. She was like, "Don't do this to her."
He was being a dick then too.
Yeah, because she's a single mom and she's got a teenager who's
like, bro, you're a whole ass teenager. You should be out there tilling the fields right now.
But her mom is dating the elf, which is like there's that stigma.
They're not dating. They're not dating.
I know.
They're sweet on each other, yes, very clearly, but they're not dating.
But still, he doesn't like the rumors. The rumors are they're dating.
No.
Well, according
there would be rumors anyway because his daddy ain't there.
Are you talking about Elrond? Because according to the show notes,
is that his name?
Elrond, the Sylvan Elf.
The gossip is going, so that would make a kid that's already a dick be more of a dick. Is my point. I'm not excusing it.
According to the show notes, they are in a love relationship, a secret love relationship.
Really?
They put that in the notes, and like just so you fellas know that are reading the notes, and you, Heidi, they're actually in. They didn't.
Yes, in fact, they are smashing.
Yeah.
You're talking
about know the ending.
So you guys are talking about you're talking about Bronwyn? Are you talking about Bronwyn and the Sylvan Elf?
I don't know everyone's names.
Yeah,
okay, the apothecary,
mom
the healer
there that has the whole night's watch.
Oh, that's her name. Okay.
Yeah, the healer. The healer is apparently in a love relationship with the Sylvan Elf, the Arondir.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty, so I get it.
Yeah. And how does he know now, Farhan, when he walks by that chess game? Like, so they have that force. Do all elves have that? That he goes like this guy in 3 moves.
Maybe he's just a really good chess player.
I think. Yeah, no, I don't.
He's really good at chess.
I think maybe some of the woodland elves are, or the Sylvan elves are, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, especially because these are new characters, so I can't really speak much about these 3. So
but do high elves have that ability in general? Is what I'm asking.
Maybe I'm not entirely sure.
I think that's how they want it too. They're like, maybe we can do this, maybe we can't. Everybody else be afraid. But I did like the Night's Watch feel to it. How they said that we're not watching these people for what their ancestors did. We're watching them for this, and then that gives him his reason to say.
Do.
Yes, exactly. So that
Todd's
gives him
saying
his
for
reason
sure
to
they
say.
bang.
Yeah, they do. They're for sure. Heidi, listen, I like some farmers.
I mean, well, he's been stationed there for 79 years. I would hope.
Oops.
He's hitting something.
Yeah, but that's like a weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's actually consummated or if it's just like a yearning. Like, I'm not quite sure. But when I saw Theo, I was like, I wonder if that's his son.
Wait, Are those
Which would
show
make-
notes for these particular
No, his ears would be
episodes?
pointy.
No, just in general. Like when they did the release of the characters, they
Okay,
said that
yeah,
they're in
yeah.
a
So
forbidden
maybe-
love relationship.
So
Yeah.
maybe it means like generally, so
Ah!
like they eventually get there throughout the course of the season.
It could be. It
Maybe.
maybe
You know
not
what?
yet.
He went
That
there without the
actually,
guard.
that actually makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, because I was looking at the kid like, why would y'all cast him as her son? Because they don't look like they share traits at all. However, if you splice in the DNA of the sexy elf man, yeah, you could very much get a kid that looks like that.
I
Let me
don't know.
see.
I
So,
don't buy
picture
I
of
get it.
him.
I get it.
That's just what I thought. I mean, I could be wrong.
No, I don't get it on a I know genetically it could happen, but story-wise, I think that it's just a connection there because he goes there and his partner warns him, right?
Here he is. Here.
Right? Like his part. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
His
okay.
ears are
And
covered.
actually, yeah,
And
wait,
he is
he's
darker
covered.
skinned.
We
Yeah.
haven't actually seen his ears yet. Now that, yeah,
Yeah,
so I take
genetically,
that
I'm
back.
not disputing it. Story-wise, I am. Meaning, like,
and then
I
there's
think that, yeah.
there he is with. So there's what I thought is dad on the top.
I
And
wish he had a
he's on the
finger
bottom.
pointing saying that's my dad. That would help me know if that was his dad.
He's
or
my
not.
daddy.
Yeah, big okay, thank you. Yeah, not far off. Yeah, genetically, I don't disagree. Story-wise, I do.
Yeah, actually, I
Yes,
love
he
that.
did profess his love. You're right, Stacy.
I love
He
the
said,
actor who
I
plays.
told you. And Sorry,
Yes.
Monica.
With the pharmacist.
No, I was just gonna say I love the actor who plays Elrond. His eyes are so crazy, but they must be contacts.
He's like, I
Not
wish they
necessarily.
were. They're not.
They're like crazy eyes, like really like I don't know, kind of greeny colored.
people, genetics are a strange thing, man. Like
Oh, yeah, it's totally
I've
possible.
only in my life met a person with almost bright purple eyes once in my life. Not even purple. They were more rouge, on the rouge side, actually. Never saw an eye color like that before, besides this one boy. Many moons ago.
Did he ride a dragon?
No.
Or it could be the boatman. Oh, I don't know, you guys. Yeah, I agree about Arondir's armor. I love it as well, as Tatiana says. And
Yeah, I really like that armor that they
Stacy,
have.
I love that armor. But right now he's kind of a mutineer, right? He's sort of abandoned his.
Has he though? Because they were leaving anyway. He was just. I mean, it almost parallels Galadriel, but
They said they were on their.
he's
they were
kind
they'd
of
be
already
looking
off
for him.
duty. Well,
He
yeah,
was
they
supposed to
might
move.
be, but
He was supposed to report back, and then they said that they
Yeah.
would be looking for him.
You can't just
And
chill in
also-
Afghanistan. because it's not
yeah,
like a
true
girl.
enough.
You know what
True
I mean?
enough.
You can't be like, no, it's cool. Like, no, it's really not.
I'm
See,
gonna
he
go
was
into
getting
town
ready
and
to
do some
go
shopping.
back. He was getting ready to go back, but then that guy came by with the cow that
Yeah.
was squirting out some weird
chocolate
black
milk,
muddy
just
milk,
darker
something or
chocolate
other.
milk. Yeah.
Chocolate milk? No, sir.
No, it's black. It's pure black primordial.
That was like the
ooze.
oil
Yeah.
from the X Files. It reminded me of the alien oil.
Yeah.
Ew,
It was-
ew, yes, that does. Ew, gross.
The name of the
Gross.
boatman is
So gross.
Hallbrand, and I strongly suspect he's the king of those Southlanders.
But
Yes,
I
he
do like
stinks.
that there's other connections other than to defeat the evil for them to stay where they're at to defeat evil, if that makes sense. I like that for Galadriel and him. Like, I like it that he's
Yeah.
in love with a pharmacist. I like that. I get it. A lot of benefits.
Someone in my chat,
yeah.
by the way, someone in my on one of my videos was angry. She was wearing
Oh.
like a tea-back dress or something.
Who gets married? Or, I'm not married, but mad about that. Sorry.
I
Oh, what
actually
dress?
her
I don't even know what
the-
that is. Please explain.
It's like, you know, when you wear like racerback, like a racerback, like when you wear a racerback bra, racerback tank top, usually
Got it.
shows your shoulder blades. It kind of, to me,
Yeah.
it kind of looked Viking like era. And then she just didn't have the dress underneath it, but then she puts a cloak on. But my attitude was, it sort of looked like she's working, right? So it's probably really hot, and so she's in her house, and then she puts something on when she goes out. That's what I thought at any rate. I don't know what you guys think.
I think Peter might have an
Yeah.
interesting thought there.
Yeah, about
Thinking
the Witch
that
King.
maybe the boatman is the Witch King. That's a very
Yeah,
interesting.
because I even remember,
I like that.
I don't know if you guys know Matt from Nerd of the Rings. We have this like sort of Discord server where all of us creators are on there, and he mentioned something about that.
That's
where
cool.
He suspects that it could be him as well. By the way,
That's an
Witch King.
interesting thought.
Or
Do you want to
Twitch
tell
King.
us what that is? Because I don't know, or anybody in the chat who doesn't know.
Did you see you saw the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, right?
Yes.
Okay, I forget what the name of the place is, but when Frodo gets stabbed in the chest, That
Yeah,
the Witch
Weathertop.
King is the one that does that at Weathertop.
Oh,
yes, thank you.
And then
Okay.
he goes to the unseen world, right?
Yeah.
Because there's the scene,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Yeah,
and
so
there's
he's
What
the
would you
leader
call
of-
that? Like the Fade world, maybe?
I think it's just called the unseen world, isn't it?
Yeah. It has that, and
Okay.
there's another name, which is not coming to me at the moment, but yeah.
The dark void of illness.
So yeah, he's the leader of the 9.
Later, I'll
Mhm.
get back.
Yeah,
And
what
that's
is
where
do they ever
he's
say
right
what
there.
his name is?
What is so? Yeah,
Which one? It's Halbrand.
What the
Are
Witch
you talking
King's name is?
Oh no, we don't actually know the identities of the 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
so we do get to see Heidi. I know how much you like jewelry from editing your videos, and I do too. Actually, got a little sword thing here recently, but we get to see the guy that's going to make the rings, right?
Yeah, that's Celebrimbor.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay. Hold
See
on.
the
Correction. Peter
Oh.
was saying that not the boatman, but he was thinking Theo was a young Witch King, like
Oh.
coming up now.
Get off your
Maybe.
witch hunt, Peter. Cut it out.
I have a
Yeah,
little.
probably-
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't know
Funko
Peter.
Oh, cool.
I'm sorry for
Of
you.
the
Oh, look at the Funko.
That's adorable.
That
Well,
is super cute.
Well, also, I mean, we're also assuming that everything's happening at the same time. It may not be happening at the
Oh
same
shit!
time.
Is this turning into Westworld? Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah.
damn! Yeah, I was gonna say, come on, man. I got enough headaches with Westworld.
How do you just?
Yeah,
blew my
actually,
mind.
it was kind of nice watching
That's-
House of the Dragon because I didn't have to kind of figure out what was going on.
Yeah, they're like, here's what's happening.
See,
and
now
I don't
that
have
you've
to, like,
said that,
question
I'm
it.
thinking, could this be in
Yeah, you just
different
messed my
timelines, though?
Crap,
Damn it.
Heidi. Thanks.
The dots connect.
Oh, pardon me a moment. I have to take my old
Okay.
lady breathing pills. BRB.
Let's see. So the dots connect.
Oh, we lost Alicia. Oh, she's coming back though.
Yeah. She said. She had
Okay,
something.
so is there anything? Well, we've gone through most of the characters. The one I didn't. Who would I? Oh, you know what I forgot to mention was we just talked about him quickly. Is Galadriel's brother? Did we have anything to say on him?
Finrod, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything to say about him? He's just kind
I
of
guess
there.
not.
He was for an
That-
immortal being
that's
very very suspecting of his own death. That's why I asked about like the foreseen. But that's just like I look. This first scene made me look into these characters and like the little bit of history of them. Like I said, I'm not like some in-depth like Tolkien. Like I like Tolkien as a creator. Not his stories, I'm not all that educated on. Besides his essays, which is a weird thing. I'm just weird. But yeah, I didn't notice that like it was. I love the connection. I thought it would have been better served if it was slower played, meaning like what sinks and what floats, blah blah blah, and all that. But yeah, but also him not being there. Also, he's like, because I won't be here forever. He's just not going to be around here forever too. That
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that it was a potent. I really liked it. I mean, that's the whole point of the bullying scene was to get in there. Does he have? I guess my question for you, Farhan or Heidi or anybody in the chat is does he have a like what is he all about? Because I know there is 2 other brothers that die in the source material, and they condense it, which makes total sense. Just the loss of one sibling is enough.
I mean, I don't like. What do you
Like,
mean?
who
by...
is he? He's a big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like a lot of the lore, and even though like I go through all of this, like a lot of times there will be certain aspects that I forget, and like with a lot of the names, and that's a kind of a tricky thing that with you as well when you mention like having to learn all this stuff is
Yeah.
a lot of the names also start getting jumbled in your mind too, because a lot of them do become really similar, and you're like, wait, didn't he do this? Wasn't he from this? And it becomes sort of a mess.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on. I'm sorry. Yeah, like I think he was going to invade somewhere though. He was going to take over more land because they're trying to make more. The elves are trying to make more land for them, right? Like that is preserved. They're trying to preserve, trying to control. So I think that he was like going to lead like some type of a campaign, like how Julius Caesar before he got Pompeyed or Caesared or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like he was going to go to the east to and fight the Parthians. Type of deal.
Because I didn't watch it like all on my own. I watched it with my family, and I think I will give it another rewatch. I didn't actually get time to like properly soak in everything in these 2 episodes, so like a lot of information just kind of went flew past my head while watching it too.
Well, you got to get rid of the family,
Yeah.
Farhan. What are you thinking?
I was for
Did
me.
you
it was sort
guys?
of like for me, it was just sort of like I took it as she really admires her brother looks up to him, her big
Yeah.
brother.
Handsome.
She kept remembering what he whispered in her ear, and also it was just like, I think it was a catalyst to move the story forward. Like, you know,
Yeah.
she's kind of like she's like the Luke Skywalker. Her parents are dead now. She's gonna go on this mission. That's sort of how I took it.
Yeah, I was just alluding to the fact that I think he's a bigger deal politically, in like he like was out to do great things. Like not only was he lost, but his like mission was lost. If that makes sense. That's all. Like yeah, but like it's enough.
They had been warring. It sounded like they'd been warring for like hundreds of years or something.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But
his cause.
that poor actor though only gets one episode. Sorry, dude. I'm sure you get other work.
But not only is he lost, but his cause is lost. So she has to take up that's you know that's just added stakes. I like that. I think it was smart. Good
I love
actor,
that scene
too.
actually where
Did
she
you guys
puts
see the theory in the chat?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
The theory that
I'll click on it.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. The Sparta.
Spielkolb?
He's saying that
Sparta?
when Hallbrand's on the raft with Galadriel, that she's asking about the thing that's around his neck, and if it was a sign of a king. And the angry guy that was yelling at the elf at the man's village was saying that they can't wait until their king comes back and like wipes all of them out or whatever. So that could be proof that he's the Witch King that they're waiting to come back.
You happy,
Which
Griffin?
I think is very interesting. I like that.
Spielkolb. How do you guys say it? Von Sparta.
Yeah, just Sparta.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other two brothers died in the wars in the First Age.
Mm-hmm.
So
Spartans, what is your job? And they're like, "Arr," or whatever. And that's not a job, but it's fine. And they're like, how many soldiers did you bring? They're like, oh, I'm a carpenter. He's like, get out of here. We don't need you. They needed them. But anyways, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, what did you guys think of the scene where Galadriel, she puts the helmets on that pile? Someone shared I think there was a famous painting or something like that where they got the symbolism from. It was pretty crazy though.
Oh, I wish we had pictures because that's interesting. So one thing I did think there's a lot of like Masonic beauty or whatever you call it, mosaic, right? Like like what you can see it right behind AK right now. Like like that type of art, I find it beautiful. So
I just thought, well, I mean, visually speaking, I thought the show was just stunning. Like I thought it was just absolutely stunning.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'll get used to it.
Yeah,
I love the way it looks.
Money to good use.
Yeah, it's funny because my husband Jack, he actually said, "Oh, I kind of prefer this show over House of the Dragon." And I think one of the things that I kind of feel, I mean, he's always been more of a Lord of the Rings person than me, I suppose. But the Mound of Helmets is a reference to the Hill of the.
Oh, they did a cliffhanger on it.
Tatiana gave us a cliffhanger.
Nice move.
Hill of the
Hill of the Slain in the books.
Find out next
Hill
episode.
of the Slain. Hill of the Slain in the books. Thanks, Tatiana. So no, anyway, I was going to say that one of the things that I wanted to say, because like a lot of people, you know, like I mentioned at the very beginning, I wasn't trying to cause any kind of conflict between anyone. The chat hit for the most part has been pretty good, actually.
No,
but what
I did that. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But one of the things I wanted to say is, I think this is such a great time for fantasy. Like, I mean, you can love Lord of the Rings, you can hate Lord of the Rings, you can love House of the Dragon, you can hate it, you can love The Witcher, you can love, we were talking about earlier, The Sandman.
Yeah.
There's so many great shows out right now, and I just think it's just a wonderful time for fantasy, and I don't think we all have to, like, fight and get angry with each other and yell at each other.
At all.
Yeah, so I think we should just, you know, and also, and this is something that Tony Teflon has said to me, and I always remember this. First seasons are hard, right? Like, you know, it's always really, really difficult to establish a story in the first season. And especially if you don't have book material to work with. Like The Sandman, at least, you know, they were able to copy all of the different stories. The person who wrote them is still alive, as opposed to House of the Dragon, which is based off of it's not really a story.
No, it's an accounting of events.
An accounting.
An accounting of events.
But at least George is alive, whereas in this case, you're kind of like, it's all new, right? So I think we should just all, as nerds,
but it's
just
not,
get
it's
together.
It's also all new, but it's not.
It's not new. Yeah, I think as nerds, we should just all get together and have a big nerd loving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, culture.
If only we could all do that. But you know, again, humans getting human, and people get butthurt within their own isms and of their rejection of anything that
Yeah.
comes out now. It's absurd.
And if I could have my own little like Apple box, moment here, it is important for content creators that steadily make content to not be dismissive of people and claim they're this or that because they have a problem with something. Like, okay, when the House of Dragon, like the core list thing came out, I saw a few content creators that handled that so well. Because the first thing you should do is explain to casual viewers why a person of color could be a Targaryen or from Valyria. I'm sorry, from Valyria, right? Like that's your first job. Is you're the person people go to. So a show only watcher knows that Targaryens,
I'll be right back.
which they consider to be Valyrians, right? In that case, were to look a certain way. They were recognized by their aesthetic. So it makes some sense. Not everybody was like some bigot right away, right? Like, so inform them. Do that. Do what you do. People watch you to get more information about what they've watched to enjoy it more. Content creation is like a sponge. We enjoy what we like in story. We cite for life more than life itself. When you go and you go on your first date, you cite story. This is like documented, psychological, neurological, all this stuff. Like this has all been documented. Like we can't act like it's just a story. It doesn't mean anything. It means a lot. Story means everything. So like I think we have a responsibility to inform first and judge after. So they give the proper information. Don't jump on that other boat of like you're all just ignorant. Now, granted, there's 80% of them out there that are being ignorant, and then you'll find out after. But do your job, right? Like do your job because you are being paid. I've worked with a lot of content creators. You're getting money for this, so inform people. Some people are just seriously asking a question and they're grouped in with it. Then you can know once you've given the information and people keep coming at you. Then go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, but do your job. Be the bigger person here. Like what we're supposed to do. Make this enjoyable.
And I think my like fellow sort of peers in the space are one, they're good at being able to sort of de-escalate that and be honest with their thoughts, and two, like even they themselves, because they're honest about it and are sort of leveled, even will get like both sides calling them one thing or another too, like either a shell or just someone that absolutely hates on it. And it's like, I mean, I've gotten my fair share of those too a little bit with my sort of trailer reaction when I kept like a leveled thing. Like I would, so like I have this little joke in one of my servers where it's like I changed my name to Middle Shill Lore.
What is it?
Yeah, it's
Middle Shill Lore.
Sure.
No, but you're giving information. That's your responsibility.
Right,
and then after you've done your job, if people are still, expressing these opinions, then that's the time to shut them out.
They can move on. Yeah,
they can move on. They can
but
do your part
on.
first. You know what I mean? Like, and do it. And because that's just, if you can't be better than people, then you're not, because nobody forced us to make content.
The hate.
Exactly.
Don't join in the hate or jump on the bandwagon just for the clicks and the likes. That's only gonna bite you in the ass later on.
Yeah, or also make a campaign about how good of a person you are, because we see the other side of this. That's really not all they're great people. You know what I mean? That are like, oh, but we support this, and look for the people that their videos are about a cause, not the content. It should be the content first that helps you understand, and then giving you the correct information. That's what it's about, in my opinion. I think that if you want to look back when you're old and you're like 90 years old, God willing you live that long and you're a content creator, and you want to look back at your body of work, you can say, at least I approached this in a professional, informed way, and I did it correctly. I didn't jump on, oh my God, you people said this, you're all terrible people. No, give the information. You're the person that's supposed to be the expert. Give them information. And I don't mean to placate to these people, but just know some people want to ask questions. Answer them first. Once you've answered them, then there's no excuse. Don't leave people with excuses. That only leaves you open. That's not a correct way to fight things. You're not being righteous or ethical. You're being stupid. Honestly, leave them no out. Be smart. There you go.
Sorry, guys. I had to duck out there for a few minutes.
You didn't miss anything. It's just me ranting.
Everyone hates the short hair on the elves. Yeah, I'm not sure why they decided to do that.
I don't hate it.
It didn't really bother me personally, but I can see why maybe.
I don't even think I noticed that much.
Yeah, honestly. I didn't really notice either.
We're used to seeing long-haired elves, so that makes sense of why they would be.
Yeah, it is.
A little bit
Maybe it's a bit jarring.
Yeah, I do remember when they first showed those images, and a lot of people were pretty outraged about it at the time. But yeah,
that's the stuff I'm talking about.
What a thing! Yeah, what a thing to be outraged about, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Long hair.
it's
That's
fine,
what the
whatever.
argument's coming into right now. Like,
Are they
come on,
King
man.
Solomon? They have to have long hair for power. Like, is there something that ties to that? It's understandable to be thrown off, but like, there's no precedent for that.
Yeah,
being
Elrond is
necessary.
mixed too, right? So
Exactly.
he's not pure elf. So I mean, you could argue that. I
So what
suppose.
is he?
Yeah, that's
So-
right. He is
yeah.
part
He's-
human.
It's part human.
Elrond's line has this thing to where at some point in time, I don't remember when it is, but they can choose to continue living on as an elf or
Yeah.
take the human path.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
Because they're half and half, yeah.
I don't
Which-
remember
Yeah.
exactly how that works, but yeah, he chose to be immortal, which is why.
And he chose to stay immortal and be an elf.
I'm pretty sure both his parents are also half elven too.
Let's see.
Well, every
Yes,
time I see Hugo
Victoria.
Weaving-
It is fanfic.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Every time I see
We
Elrond,
like
though, I
it.
just think Hugo Weaving. I just think of the Matrix. So
The
But
man,
you-
Mr.
you gotta
Anderson.
Like, you see the actual issue. Like, you see how people
Yeah.
that live like temporarily on Earth like aren't so worried about recycling. Like, when you like, how many 90-year-olds recycle, right? You know what I mean? They're like, fuck this, I'll be done. Unless they love their grandkids or something like that. So it's silly.
my dad
no.
got in a fight with somebody at the grocery store because the
Yeah.
person was like, "Why are you buying bags?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Well, I use them to line my green bin or something." And they're like,
Right.
"I bet you drive a gas guzzler."
Yeah.
None of
They're
your
like, listen,
damn
Heidi.
business. It's me buying bags from my house.
Well. You might be here for some time, but I'm gonna be here forever. So I actually care as an elf like that. But there is like,
Humans.
I know, but there is. That's kind of like, you motherfucking humans. That's why they're
Oh,
like being
man.
Yeah.
occupational rulers over all these places because these
Yeah.
humans keep jamming it up.
My
and then-
husband,
I
he
guess
gets
I'm
really
gonna-
mad.
With dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll drive my car. It's kind of cool. They're like, but how long are you gonna be here? I'm like, I'm here. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. You fucking elves. Sorry for the
Yeah, my
language.
husband gets really angry when people take the elevator, like say, that's supposed to be for people who have a disability or in wheelchairs or whatever.
I
He
do,
gets mad when they
laziness.
take the elevator. And I said to him, well, first of all, you don't know that this person doesn't have a disability.
Not
They
all
could have any-
disabilities can be seen, man.
They can't all be seen exactly. So, they could have rheumatoid arthritis. They could have breathing issues, like someone we love
They
and
could
know.
not be able to walk up a flight of steps without having
Flight
to
of
catch
stairs.
mouse
Drink
like
last
me.
night.
They could be hungover. You just don't know what is
And
going
they made elevators. Okay, ever seen Mad Men?
I mean, it's an elevator. I'm sorry. There's no
He gets so
specific
angry. He
restriction.
gets angry about it.
Who's
on
That's
that
what
most
they do.
ambitious
elevators.
that Monday morning, you're like, I'll take the stairs up to the 5th floor. Oh my!
Okay, that's cool for you,
Yeah,
but that
good
don't
for
mean that
you.
I have to. Just because you're on a diet, don't mean I can't have a cupcake.
Don't you shame.
I'm
me
gonna go
for
eat my
good health.
cupcakes.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I played paintball. I can't walk today. I played paintball yesterday. I almost died. Okay.
Oh,
That
paintball's
is what
so
it is.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I almost died.
Yeah, we should do, actually, Todd, we should do a video on the age of hair in Middle Earth. We could do like all the different ages.
Why do they have short hair? It's like, why am I bald? I don't know. I've got issues with hair too. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my main one.
Maybe at a certain time in their lineage,
Yes.
elves like short hair more. Who knows? Does it
Minchie
really
says they
matter
could've
that
just
much
worked
to the story?
Minchie
Nope.
says they could have just worked a 10-hour shift. It was funny. One time I was on the bus and I was coming home and the bus was packed and I was standing and this elderly person got on and there was nowhere for the elderly person to sit. So I asked this young man, "Would you mind getting
Yeah,
up
get
and
your
letting
ass
this?"
up.
Well, I said to him, "Would you mind getting up and letting this person sit?" He goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but I'm coming from the hospital." So I
Okay.
was like,
Okay.
okay,
No, that's
fair
fair.
enough.
You
Yeah,
should have yelled
I'll
at the
take
old
that.
person. Heidi
So
said,
you
"This
just
is a
never
metaphor
know.
for
You
life.
never know.
No room for you. Get out of here."
Sorry, this elder. Yeah. So it was just really, really weird. This is Toronto though. So, what else is wrong with
You're like
Justin?
Seinfeld.
We should
Heidi
do
got
that.
her own
That should
Canadian
be.
Seinfeld.
What's wrong with you,
We
Jeff?
could do-
Everything.
We could do a
Everything
live
is
stream
wrong with
call that.
Justin.
What
Yeah.
else is wrong with Justin? We can do it like on a wheel, like one of those wheels that we spin.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm good. I mean, I'm not, but we're good. Yeah.
You guys crack me up.
Let's see. Hold on. We got a question here. My issue is why did Galadriel take the raft when swimming was faster for her? Was it?
Probably was
Because
exhausted.
she was in that water for a while. I mean, her arms might have been hurting.
Oh, this is where I'd like to be rich because I would put you in water and then ask why you took the raft when you were swimming. I'd be like, okay, so now you tell me.
I think she might. I mean, even elves get tired, y'all. She has a
Yeah.
lot of endurance. Yes, I give you that. I know what you're trying
Yeah.
to say, but
And people who
even
swim
they
the
need the
English
rest.
Channel, and people who swim the English Channel, they usually put on a lot of fat, and then they also rub their
Mhm.
body with
That's
like
what I'm doing.
lanolin.
with tons of lotion because like
Lotion.
the salts will like
Exactly,
eat
so does
away at their ugh.
Yeah.
To get
and
the rat,
I saw
make you
that.
say
I
why
saw
you're
somebody
taking
doing that who wasn't like using it on his face, and he would wake up to like chunks of his lips were falling off because the salt water was eating away. So it was just, oh, it was so gross.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I forget what his name is, but I'm sure if y'all will Google that, you'll be able to find it and read about the whole story. It's
Yeah, look
I don't
up
know why
swimming
some
is
humans
hard.
do those crazy things.
No,
Whew.
they're trying to prove
Oh,
something.
before we go, let's actually, a couple of the monsters were pretty good. What'd you guys think of all the monsters in this?
I
look
wanted
good.
to see more of the sea monster.
Me
like,
too.
I like the the horror element of just seeing like the glimpses of its tail and the long spiny fins, but I really wanted to see the whole thing because what I thought they were going to do was actually have like Galadriel out to swim down there with her dagger, and she would just go under its belly real quick, and that would be the end of it, and then everybody would survive, and they'd let her have whatever rations on the freaking ship. That didn't happen, and I'm glad because that kind of would have been stupid. But I
want to see that. I want to see that sea monster again. I hope we see it again.
I think Tolkien like he would call them like sea dragons, yeah.
See, and that's they called it the worm. And for a hot second, when she jumped off the boat and they showed her in that, and the camera panned out in that massive body of water, I was sitting there thinking like, wait, is that water empty though? Like, but again, like you said, Heidi, she didn't think ahead that far. She just knew that she had to get off the boat because she didn't want to go into the light. I don't know if I would have made that same choice.
Bride, it's like in The Princess Bride when Princess Buttercup jumps into the water and then she doesn't know that's infested with
the flesh-eating electric eels and all that.
Yeah. Princess.
Such a great movie.
Princess, you didn't know this. I can't do that character, but you guys know it. Fish dragon. I was gonna say actually the orc with that helmet on, like I was like I found that felt like
sea dragon. Is it sea dragon? Did I say
sea dragon? Yeah. It could be called a sea dragon, but we don't really know what it looks like. So
I'm just saying what Tolkien called it. So yeah.
Speaking of, remember I was saying that hobbits might be real. Apparently, Loch Ness monster might be real as well. Just throwing that out there.
They've been saying that for how long now, though?
Yeah, we have like videotape of everywhere right now, so like it's hard for me to believe you can't catch it on camera.
It did kind of look like a fish dragon. I agree. It had this.
I'm looking at
not only that we can't catch it on camera, Justin, but that we can't catch it on clear, non-blurry camera.
Yeah, that's the biggest
2022.
problem. Like, all the best,
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, all the best like investigators have all the worst like tech.
The worst cameras, really, y'all. Come on now.
That's their conflict, though. That's good.
I want to believe. Give me something better, though.
No, yeah, stop being stupid.
Yeah, what did you guys think of the snow troll?
The snow troll, that was interesting.
That was pretty cool.
I did expect something to come out of the darkness. I didn't know what exactly it would look like. But yeah, you can't just go creeping into a cave that looks that old, that very obviously was habitated by something before, and expect it to not have something really creepy inside, especially when there's a mark of freaking Sauron sitting right there on the altar.
Yes.
You should have known better.
And when she poured water on it, and it kind of like sizzled.
Yeah, it sizzled on the rock, which was kind of weird, but then that does happen. It like the saying in Game of Thrones, well, not the saying, but what it was written in the book, nothing burns like the cold. Yeah, ice will actually burn you if you're in like the right part of the world.
Dry ice burns you.
Yeah, Tatiana, we were talking about it earlier about the hobbits. No, in Southeast Asia, there's. I just saw a thing this week about it.
Indonesia, was it?
Indonesia, yeah. Hi, Lady Starfall. I'm sorry you didn't get the notification, but I'm glad you're here. So we are kind of just finishing up because it is almost 6:30, and we're gonna.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna all watch House of the Dragon tonight?
I will be watching. Probably you have gonna start. Yeah, do the live watch along. Probably around 8:30, 8:40, and go through from there. And then tomorrow I will be discussing with myself, Lady D, and Manic Meeks, and another special guest will be joining us. So swing by my channel on Monday, 9:15ish, and we'll have a good chat and a good laugh. Mine's very mellow. I don't usually go through like all the points in the episode. We all pick like 3 or 4 points of what we want to talk about, and then we laugh and go on tangents from there.
Purple Cat wants to know where's the live watchathon. Are you able to put it in the chat?
If you go, it's not. I don't have it set up, but if one can put
Oh, sorry,
my channel in there.
Sorry, Todd.
Oh, if you don't have HBO, then yeah, you have to have your own HBO. I'm not actually showing it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
that would be a huge copyright strike. Yeah, that is against the law, and we don't break the law on AK Watch. Nah.
No.
You probably, I shouldn't say this, but you could probably torrent it.
You
Todd
very
wants
much
to watch
could.
it.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to do that.
I'm just saying I've heard people do that.
If you have the know-how, there are some sites. You
My drug dealing murderer cousin does that.
We were joking in the last episode.
The sexy crab feeder.
The crab that he's got
big
D
scale.
energy. Yeah, he's got big D energy.
I guess
Does
whatever
he?
that means.
Because I'm pretty sure his dick has fallen off by now.
Yeah, same thing I thought, at least.
Do you really want to touch that?
They all do, evidently.
It's what do they call it? It's rib for your pleasure.
That's no. These ladies want gaga. It was like over.
Y'all know I ain't going near nobody's dick anyway, but that, especially diseased dick,
Yeah.
Don't nobody want
there's
that.
always full body condoms. Big
oh my
dolphin.
god, you're okay. Let's not get it back into that.
No gracias.
Like your approach to that whole thing, all of you guys from last stream, like it's just not
Sexy
commendable. It's not a good thing to say. Like you just seem to be able to roll the dice. You're like,
look,
yeah,
I just go where the conversation flows.
Yeah.
Don't blame me, Justin. Okay, I didn't bring up the
I'm sorry.
subject.
I'll stop.
Like they kept saying
Come on, I'm just having some fun. I'm a middle-aged married lady.
Saran wrap on it. You'll be fine. Like you're giving out bad health advice here. Like
I have to have some fun. I told Jack about it.
I have to have
I'm
some
open
fun.
about my fetishes. I told him about it after.
Teaching sex education. We're giving out bad tips here. Like you have to have some fun. It's like
I'm a middle-aged married lady. I have to have some fun.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so everyone's okay. So Farhan, are you watching it? Farhan, sorry, you had to put up with that. But Farhan, are you planning on watching House of the Dragon? Sorry,
Farhan. But yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of catching up to do with the show, actually.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But yeah.
Farhan, by the way, is going to come on on his birthday, hopefully in October. He's going to come on and do a live stream with us, and Alicia's going to come on. She's either going to be on days when Shadowcat Bex can't. She'll be sort of come in, but she's not going to do the finale.
Definitely for the finale. Yes.
Yeah, that'll have to be a drinky poo.
I will be bringing the drinks.
The drinky poo.
We need to invent breathalyzers that go in the microphones, and like we're not
Sir,
allowed to
why
talk
would you
unless
invent
we're under
such an
a
evil
limit.
thing?
Because we need to stop at some points. Like
Justin, actually,
yeah.
it was funny.
Not now, but like at certain points. Trust me, when it comes to the body condoms, and it'll be okay. I have to have some fun. Like comments like we all in the things I say, which there's so many more. But yeah, that's why we need them.
Lady Starfall. I don't have alcohol in this, but this.
No, I'm not drinking either.
No, neither. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
drinking.
under the
I'm just
weather.
saying. I've seen how these things go, though.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because someone was like, "Oh my god, 5 hours," and I said, "Oh, okay, here," and I just got to cut it 3 hours off. I didn't even
5
know.
hours for what? What happened?
We had a 5-hour live stream last Tuesday.
The breathalyzer thing would have put a stop to it. Is the point.
Yeah,
it was fun for us
because we were. I don't know. It was so fun though. We were having such a fun time,
time,
right? Yeah.
What was I doing Tuesday that I missed you? Oh, I was on with
You were there
CJ.
at first. You were there. No,
you were there.
You came at first.
And then yeah.
And then we just kept going and going.
You didn't stay for the whole 5 hours.
You know what?
The problem was
that happens sometimes.
Yeah, you can't.
And you shut up. How many marathon streams have you done with me?
Yeah, I'm
I
joking.
don't want to hear
That's
it.
a joke,
Sir.
Elisa. The joke is I don't know why you couldn't stay the whole 5-hour stream. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. Catch me next time.
No, we're gonna try not to. We're doing those breath flies.
We could talk about Sketch Pain asked, do you guys think House of the Dragon will learn from season 8, Game of Thrones? I think they already have.
Well, I think they already have. I'm sure that, they have their own different set. Tangents are everything, though. They have their own set of issues, I think, that just random things I've heard, but we'll see how it all plays out on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've definitely learned from season 8. That's why the entity known as D&D was nowhere near anything on this project. Thank goodness. Although I still am upset about the wigs. Y'all need to hire some better folk.
I think it will be a while before it recovers. After
well,
yeah. Well, it's funny because I got this issue. Like I don't normally do this, but I picked up like a House of the Dragon magazine. Like an exclusive kind of like everything. And there was some shade thrown at Game of Thrones in there. about how like they've kind of
I'm not
distanced
surprised.
themselves. Yeah, they threw some shade.
Mhm.
So they, I mean, I think because and then
That's
George
a
of course
sound
came
business
out.
move.
Yeah, and then of
Yeah.
course George came out and said that he, you know, he basically was, you know, got cut out. So, you know, there's probably a little bit of politics there.
Well, it's just smart too. And what they've done better is that if you notice, even when Game of Thrones was done well, the series which is done well for 80% of it, right? Like done really well. Like we all still love it. Dan and Dave, if you look back when they were riding high, people, and they were doing a good job, they were still very disrespectful and dismissive of fans. Watch interviews. Watch them talking about Barristan Selmy's actor. I brought this up before. Watch them talking about how he wrote his letter. Watch how they treat fans. They make a big joke about shitting on fans and not caring because people cared so much. That turned out, that's all fine and good when you're rolling high. But you better get off that. You can't ride that high horse the whole time because God forbid you decide that you want out to go make Confederate, which is obviously a gold series that's going to happen. But you know what I mean? And make a series,
come up as a concept.
30% of a story to tell, and you tell it in 6 episodes, right? Like bad idea to begin. I mean, that's just classic. Like, I mean, I don't know. You don't need any explanation why that's a bad idea, but it doesn't suit them. Their behavior doesn't suit them for any errors, much less the gigantic error that they made. Yeah.
Which is exactly why the only thing people have really seen them in is that one little 2-second clip in front of a fake dragon on Westworld last season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many big projects were they set up for? And every last one of them got the chop.
Yep. And they all their capital.
Don't fuck with people's fandoms like that.
Can't wait to do this Confederate. There's a lot of race issues right now. Can't wait to make Confederate. It's like, really? That's your move?
I have to say,
smart.
Spielkalb says, does anyone else believe Elrond forfeited the stone smashing duel with Durin deliberately? I do.
Yeah, I mean, his facial expression there, it really seemed like he
absolutely
he wanted to gain access.
He could have kept going. You know, dwarves, again, like I was saying earlier, they have a very high endurance for many things. They just because they're small and slight, them assholes have some strength in those small slight bodies. Yeah, he could have absolutely kept going, but he wanted to be respectful. He knew Caitlin was off, and that was his first step in trying to fix it.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Caitlin, the Run Amok Muse. Hello. I've never seen you before. It's nice to see you here. Okay, so we should probably wrap up.
Winning wouldn't have been winning.
Okay, let's wrap it up. We can talk about House of the Dragon on House of the Dragon night.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're not there. Okay,
we can say Slim D energy. I love our chat rooms.
Is that about the crab feeder?
No, about the elves being small and slight.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was just sharing what I've been watching. I didn't know I thought it was House of Cosby's. Sorry.
Well, I just want to let everyone go because Farhan's sitting here and he's I don't know, I think he looks like he might be wanting to get going. And I'm not feeling well.
Run away from the madness, Farhan. Run away.
Okay, so let's just go around and everyone tell everyone where they can find you all. Farhan, why don't we start with you? Thanks so much for coming, by the way.
Well, thank you for having me. You can find me on youtube.com, I guess, /Middle-earth Lore, or I guess you can find a link in my Twitter bio for the other channel, which is Extra Life. That's focused on gaming. You can find me on Twitter at Extra Life Mel. That's all capitals, MEL. And that's pretty much it.
I'm sharing you right now.
And Farhan's going to be also doing a gaming channel as well.
Yeah. I've actually started that
That's
one.
the Extra Life one.
Yeah.
But Mel stands for Middle-earth Lore. And that's how I met you. What about you, Alicia? Why don't you tell everybody about you and where people can find you?
Well, you can find me sometimes on my channel, which is AK Watch. Right now, I am only covering House of the Dragon on there for now. Later on this evening, I'll be doing a live watch along. I will not be showing the actual episode of House of the Dragon. You have to have your own HBO subscription to watch. But we do sync up usually our times when we start and watch the episode together, have a couple drinks and some laughs, and comment on all of the random fuckery that goes about. And it's usually a good time. So if you don't have anybody to watch with, swing by and come watch with me. Tomorrow, I will be doing my discussion with Lady D, Manic Meeks, and we have a special guest coming through 9 p.m. on my channel, about 9:15 maybe. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I do believe I have shows lined up with DJ11 and Fandom D Saint on DJ11's channel. So just go in and check out. DJ never makes the links until like 10 or 15 minutes before we start. So just go sub to his channel and you'll get all of the notifications once we start. That's pretty much all I have going on, and you'll see me on random places.
Those are both of
Oh, what's that? What's that, Farhan? Gonna skip Ragnarok?
No,
What's that about?
I was responding to Peter because he said
okay,
that I'll
sure.
wait for the
Okay,
next,
cool.
So the next God of War game is actually Ragnarok.
Oh,
yeah.
you guys about? Okay, cool.
Oh, I
Right.
can't
Sorry.
wait for that. It's gonna be.
I thought you meant
good.
Thor Ragnarok.
Right. Oh no.
That's pretty. Justin, what about you? Why don't you tell everybody about where people can find you?
If I don't want you to find me, you can't. But yeah, mostly editing now, and it's best that I'm not on camera, because I don't talk. So no, Top Shelf Fandom, but I'm very happy to be a part of this group. I just linked both of Farhan's channel. The first one is his gaming channel, Extra Life. The second one is his main channel, and AK is in here as well, which I will link. So thanks for having me, though.
Thank you very much, my love.
Thank you.
And Justin's actually got a new client, so that's really exciting. I'll be excited to hear about it.
Yes, I am looking forward to this.
We're working it out right now.
Two of my besties collabing. Yeah.
Very fun.
And I just want to also mention that Justin does all my editing, and he is amazing. And like on the
Yes,
other,
if you need a good editor.
It's true, because like I work full time, so I was like, I can't do this. So it's amazing. Like I gave him something just last week, and he had it like turned around within 24 hours. It like kind of shocked me, actually. It was crazy.
Well, you ever seen me talk and how much needs to be cut out of that? I learned how to edit for editing for myself. So you know what I mean? Like I can cut quick. Yeah, I'm like,
he does an amazing job.
Yeah,
and he's also been doing
you.
some stuff for me privately as well, like for work, my work day job.
For Canada.
Yeah, for Canada. He's doing Canadian editing. But anyway, and then I just want to let everyone know that on Tuesday night, we're going to have, like every Tuesday, we have a after the show reaction with the lovely Tatiana Melendez, who's in the chat right now. And she's my queen. And then also Rebecca will be here. Shadowcat Bex is her name.
Bex.
And our guest this week is Tim, Cowboy Tim. Tim the Texan, y'all. Yeah. He's awesome. I met him on Justin's channel doing a Westworld stream. He's a really great guy. He's a big TikToker too. Like he's got like a huge TikTok account, which is so funny because he started a TikTok account because of his teenage child or teenage daughter that he wanted to keep an eye on, and now he's like got his own big editing with poutine or Putin
really
is the
like
way to
have
properly
some
say it apparently.
right now.
Yeah, so so I'll be here on Tuesday. I'll probably try and do a reaction video if I don't have a nervous breakdown.
We'll get you.
Last week I was kind of having a bit of I was having an anxiety. I don't know what do you call it? Existential crisis. I think it's because I'm sick. I was getting sick, and so I was feeling really kind of terrible. So I'll try to do a reaction. But this episode is looking really good. Yeah. Costume-wise, it looks really good. So very excited to see it. Lots of color.
And last week wasn't a lot for you to expand on, anyways.
Wasn't really a lot to talk about. No, it was kind of dark, and there wasn't lots of. Where Allison, I think they're doing a hunt this week. It looks like they're traveling. I'm not sure what you guys think, but. Anyway, so that's on in a few hours. So anyway, I want to thank everyone who came in the chat. We had such a great, community that arrived today. Thank you so much. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings person, but this was really, really fun for me. I really enjoyed talking with Farhan and Alicia and Justin about it. Maybe we can do a mid-season one. Tatiana, if you want to come on that one, you can join us. So, want to say goodbye to everyone. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's end it.